Right now, I don't see any crashes or stalled vehicles in your way on the interstates. I do see the brake tapping increasing going eastbound on the South Loop over to 65. Same goes for the northbound North Loop over to 24. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hello, kids. Welcome in, one and all. It's the Matt Murphy Radio Show underway for another day. Happy to have you with us another week, too. It's Monday. It's October. Is it October 13th? It is October 13th. It is Columbus Day. It's always been Columbus Day for me. I've never called it Indigenous Peoples Day, despite the fact that my people are getting the shaft when we don't call it Indigenous Peoples Day, because I'm a part of the indigenous peoples along my lineage. But one way or the other, we celebrate Christopher Columbus and all of the wonderful things that he did for the world in, quote-unquote, discovering the Americas, which technically he didn't do, but whatever. We'll still celebrate Columbus Day. It's okay. It's Columbus Day every day. We got lots. Man, oh, man, oh, man. There's Ken Weaver. He's been busy as a beaver.
Not supposed to be busy on Mondays.
But let me tell you something. I heard you mention there's no traffic. There's no damn traffic because it's Columbus Day, Ken.
That's what's going on.
Yeah. I mean, all of the Fed employees, the state employees, I imagine all the banks are closed, I would assume. I haven't been in a bank in 10 years. I don't know if a bank's closed or not. I know they're still open. But there's lots going on, and you've been reporting on it all day. Big story, obviously, nationally and internationally, is the incredible peace deal that was brokered by President Donald J. Trump and signed into being by all of the leaders that mattered. World leaders applauding him as he makes a whirlwind Middle East trip. We're going to talk about that. But that's not, the big story locally. Now, hold on a second. Jackson Williams is controlling. Jackson.
Yes,
I told
I'm
you.
ready.
I understand.
I'm so ready.
I understand that. I told you.
They did it. They did the thing.
Jackson Williams is the soon-to-be erstwhile executive producer of the show.
Because I'm going to explode if you don't let me go.
Jackson's very excited about some news, and he has asked for permission to be the first man on our show to report the big news. And I told him that you would be able to report it, but we got other things we got to get to begin. I understand that you're very excited about this. Ken, I don't know if you've heard, but there's news in the world of... No.
Let me go. Let me go. Let me out.
You want to do it now? All right, I'll let you break the news for those just tuning in now, and then you can talk about it in depth later. Or do you want to talk about it later, Jack? Do you want to do it now?
How long are you going to let me go?
Well, it's supposed to be an Action Jackson Sports Minute.
Can we make it a Jackson Action Sports Hour? Or 4.
You want Ken and I just to go on home and you can talk about your hatred of Brian Callahan for the rest of...
It's not a hatred. I don't hate the guy.
Really?
No, I don't hate any football coaches other than Butch Jones.
Not even Derek Dooley?
Dooley was just a panic hire. I don't blame him for that. And at least Pruitt was trying to cheat.
Hey, speaking of cheating, can I take a timeout? That's how we call timeout on this show.
That was he called the timeout.
This was a clap. This is a clap on this show. I don't know. Yeah, that's it. Look, Ken Weaver's applauding in the background. Look at Ken. If you know, you know. All right, hit the I guess you can hit the music one more time, Jackson, if you... Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for an Action Jackson Sports Report on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Jackson.
In the NFL, the Tennessee Titans have fired head coach Brian Callahan.
Did you say fired?
Fired. He is no longer the head coach of the Tennessee Titans.
They canned him.
They have not named an interim head coach just yet. We're still waiting on that kind of news. Hopefully, we are supposed to be getting something in the form of an in-person press conference later on today, and hopefully we will get more information out of that. But currently, all it is, Titans head coach Brian Callahan fired after 23 games in his tenure.
Terminated.
4-19 in his 23 games.
They canned him.
I almost said a bad word.
They dismissed him from his duties.
Almost said bleep canned.
Yeah. They discharged him. Mm-hmm.
Dishonorably.
Mm-hmm. They sacked him.
Yes.
They canned him. Already said they axed him.
Gave him the old heave-ho.
Got the boot.
He was going to be my nincompoop today.
They gave him the old pink slip.
I'm not going to do it anymore because he got fired.
They showed him the door. I'm just trying to think of how many ways I can say that somebody got fired.
Showed him the door.
They gave him the old brown box. Do you ever have to do the walk of shame, Ken?
No.
Have you ever been fired?
One time.
Not really living in radio if you've never been
I was
fired.
in radio.
Okay, good. All right.
I was
sure.
I was late to work one morning.
Oh, man. I got fired for being late to work one morning and then lying about it.
What did you say you were?
I said I got in an accident.
You didn't?
And I didn't. And
Did you come in with the Bobby Petrino neck brace?
Yeah, I said I got in a car accident, and I guess the general manager looked at my car at some point and realized that my car had no damage on it. And so, like 4 days later, he said, hey, just because you were on the way to work, I'm just going to need a police report on that. Uh-oh.
Well, they don't do that anymore.
Yeah, they don't offer police.
He left.
And he left the seat. I left the seat of the accident, sir. Anyway, so we've all been there. So Brian Callahan fired today as the head coach of the Tennessee Titans. Who they getting to? Hey, can I get the music one more time? I mean, I feel like. Thank you. And now, Action Jackson fills us in on who the qualified hires might be in the Tennessee Titans head coach search. I mean, they're not finding a coach until the end of the year, right?
So they they could. There's a lot of options out there, but I believe this will be a very large search. I think they'll start vetting candidates, some of the guys who aren't coaching this season, like Mike McCarthy, a lot of different candidates who have been previously a head coach. But then you look at the coordinators. I really like Joe Brady out of Buffalo.
Okay.
They could look at him. You already had the coordinator turned head coach, and that didn't work. But this guy has actually called plays. So you look at something a little different there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to be an interesting search. They don't even have an interim coach yet. So we will hopefully, by the end of the show, have a name for who will be coaching the Titans this Sunday.
They got a game, right?
Against Mike Vrabel.
I mean, someone...
a big one.
Maybe ask Mike Vrabel if he might just do him
Coach
a solid.
both teams?
Coach both teams. Like a scrimmage.
That's pretty much what it's going to be on Sunday anyway.
Vrabel's coming in to lay the hammer, dude.
He's going to lay the wood to him. He's going to lay the wood. I mean, because Vrabel's got his team playing.
He's got a quarterback. He's got nice receivers. He's got an offensive coordinator, something he didn't have his last couple of years in Tennessee. And he's going to be coming back with a vengeance, although Vrabel has a tendency of losing teams he has no business losing to, and the Titans would be one of those.
Well, best of luck to the Tennessee Titans. There's some sports on the is that all the sports we're going to do today?
We should have the interim coach later, and I want to talk about that. So you just listen for the music.
I'll just, when I hear the music, I will acquiesce to, I will cede territory to you.
Wait, I can just actually do that when I'm ready?
While we're talking about sports, Ken, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You deserve better.
Well, it's hard to play football when you don't have an offense.
Yeah, I mean, your defense. Well, I'll say your defense deserves better.
Yeah.
Your defense deserves better. There was some slop at the end, right? It was a closer game than the 23-6 score would indicate.
Well, our special teams allowed a punt return for a touchdown. That wasn't good either. So, yeah.
I mean, y'all are still a good team. Only one loss on the season. Come on now.
We have not scored a touchdown on Texas in over 735 days.
That's a lot. That's a lot of days.
Yeah. So anyway, that's all I got to say about that.
Well, I'm sorry. I just want to tell you, I was rooting for you. And I spent the longest half of football in my life at Jordan-Hare Stadium. Yeah. Good gracious alive. Those people were mad. They were mad. They were mad at me. I had to tell several people I don't have anything to do with the coaching staff.
I'm here with you guys.
I'm
watching the game.
I'm just quietly as possible rooting for my team, which happens to be the team that you're rooting against. And I don't have anything to do with the referees. I don't have anything to do with whether or not that was a touchdown. I don't have anything to do with whether or not he called timeout.
He called timeout.
I'm just trying to. He was clapping.
He was not
telling
clapping.
Everybody that he was.
How do you
clap? That's how we clap in
You
Georgia.
don't clap like this.
We clap like that. That's what he was doing. See? No, he was telling them that they were cheating.
You could run over there, and you could see him running over there and mouthing the words "timeout."
No, he was mouthing the words. They're clapping. That's what he was mouthing the words to. They're clapping.
Ken, they've got him brainwashed.
I don't know. All I know is it worked. I don't know. I don't even know. But here's the thing is that the people that think this was a master scheme, I mean, Kirby Smart, y'all think Kirby Smart was trying to steal a timeout in front of God and everybody by calling timeout and then saying he wasn't calling timeout?
He didn't try. He succeeded.
Well, I mean, when if they're going to give it to you, you might as well. And by the way, had no impact on the outcome of the game because we threw a 26-yard pass. The Auburn Tigers got called on we got called on some stupid clapback block or blindside block or some crap, and we missed a field goal, so it didn't matter. So
Been there.
That's enough sports on the News Talk station. Let's talk about this deal.
We'll be back later.
Yeah, we'll be back with sports later. So, I mean, obviously, it's an incredible day. And Donald Trump, no question, deserves every bit of credit that he's getting. And as much as most reasonable liberals don't want to give him credit, even reasonable liberals are giving him the credit that he deserves. I find it amusing to watch the number of people in the Biden administration claim that, they laid the groundwork, they laid the pathway. No, you didn't. You were far too busy covering up the fact that you had a president of the United States of America in the White House that didn't know what day it was, that couldn't put his pants on. So your time was taken up with that, with the fact that you had a guy in the White House that could not function for more than 4 or so hours a day. Meantime, this guy, a man who's 78 years old and runs circles around me, who's 78 years old and runs circles around most of these 30-somethings in the United States media pool, and he's sleeping 4 hours a night and is getting it done. I mean, getting it done. I would not suggest that, this is obviously the highlight of his second term as president of the United States of America. It is one of the most significant, if it holds, and there are so many ifs involved in all of this, and I understand the many of you, as I was posting several things on social media about this over the weekend. You can find me at Matt Murphy Show. That's at MattMurphyShow on the X machine. Obviously, there has been conflict in the Middle East since the dawn of time. Obviously, we are told, many of us of faith, that there will be conflicts in that region of the world for all of time. But what we know now is that the hostages have been released. What we know now is that there is a ceasefire. What we know now, all of these misguided skulls of mush on college campuses around the United States of America, I imagine that tonight they'll be coming out in celebration of Donald Trump, right? Because they got the ceasefire that they've said they've wanted, that the quote-unquote genocide that they claimed was going on, which never was, by the way, it has been ended by Donald Trump and his administration. So I imagine, based on this peace deal, they will be the ones to celebrate Trump tonight. Oh, no, they're not going to do that because it was never about a ceasefire and it was never about a peace deal. It was obviously always about their hatred of Donald Trump and their hatred of the Israeli government and the Israeli people. For those that are screaming from from the river to the sea. Donald Trump's 20-point peace plan is in its early stages, and obviously questions about whether or not it can hold remain, but there is a great confidence after his weekend trip and after the early release of the living hostages and the continual release of some of the dead hostages that this is the real deal. Aboard Air Force One, Trump told supporters that, or rather, not supporters, reporters, they're not supporters, that the war is over. He relayed the same message to reporters upon landing in Israel, and during his remarks in Egypt, he declared war in Gaza is over. Obviously, the 20 living hostages were the most important to be returned. There are some almost 2,000 Palestinian prisoners of war that have been returned to the people of that region. There is a search being carried out right now for the bodies of 28 other hostages that Hamas kept inside of Gaza over the course of the last 2 years of war. The Israeli military said the coffins containing the remains of 4 hostages were transferred to Israel, bringing the body count of the remaining dead to 24. The Red Cross, that would be the International Red Cross, is helping to facilitate the transfer of the deceased bodies. Media in Israel reported that Hamas conveyed it needs more time to retrieve and hand over the bodies of the deceased. This is obviously something that is incredibly important to the Israeli people, incredibly important to their faith, that they have an opportunity to bury those who have perished. The Hostages and Missing Families Forum, a coalition of advocates and families of the hostages led by, or held by Hamas, that is, said in a statement last week it wants the ceasefire suspended over Hamas's failure to return all of the bodies on the agreed-upon time. The group is obviously holding off on their declarations of that right now. Hopefully, Hamas's efforts will eventually get the rest of the 24 home. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu cited a Jewish holiday in preventing his travel to Egypt for the peace summit, despite the fact that he was invited by Donald Trump. Absent Netanyahu, Trump embraced Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas, who holds power in the West Bank. Only the second time that Trump met with Abbas, he was identified or has identified a reformed Palestinian Authority as being brought into the stabilized Gaza Strip. And so, I mean, obviously this is it's a huge moment in his presidency. It's a huge moment in time in America. And we want you to be able to comment on it. 615-737-9986 if you have any thoughts. 615-737-9986. Do not forget, we're on 99.7 FM. That's on the radio dial from Kentucky to Alabama and all points in between. We're all across Middle Tennessee. You can also find us on TuneIn, Spotify, iHeart, or on Talk TV, on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Rumble. We invite you to be a part of that. Episode 901 is in progress on The Matt Murphy Show this Monday, October 13th on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy for Stoltz Co. You know, I'm very excited to tell you about the turnkey opportunities that are now available at Stoltz Co. You know, always they were the best price point available for barn dominiums or pole barns, garage spaces, equestrian spaces, event spaces, and they still are. I mean, you will save hundreds, thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars in the construction of, you know, whatever type of property you want to build. I mean, if you have property and you want to build on that property, whatever type of structure you're looking for, they can handle it at Stoltz Co. to include those incredible barn dominiums. If you're looking for somewhere to hang out on the weekends, if you're looking for a future home and you own property, or perhaps you are looking to do something with a country piece of property and you want to get out of the city a little bit, you can do it with Stoltz Co. And now they have turnkey opportunities, meaning that all you have to do is sit down with them and talk to them about your vision, and they will map out a plan for your vision, and then they go away and they make that vision a reality, and then they hand you the keys and you move in. I mean, it's pretty cool, folks. Now, you can take part in every step of the operation as well if you desire, and save additional money on that end too. 615-622-5992, 615-622-5992, or online at stoltzco.com, STOLTZCO.com.
The front office pulls the trigger on the head coach over at the Tennessee Titans. President Trump's on his way back to the U.S. after signing that ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. And we now know the names of the 16 souls lost in Friday's explosion in McEwen. These stories and more at 3:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
There he is, Ken Weaver. He's about to throw down some news coming up in just a moment or two. We'll throw down with you on the telephone, 615-737-9986. We're just getting this Holiday Monday edition of the Matt Murphy Radio Show started. By the way, it's day 270 by my count of the 1460.5 that Donald Trump has offered in his second term as president of the United States of America. I had to take my freedom hat off. I mentioned this during the crossover with Chad Benson. You see my freedom hat, which I purchased on the campus of Auburn University. It is the Turning Point USA folks. They were offering this freedom hat out there, which is obviously the shirt with the word freedom on it was what Charlie was wearing when he was assassinated less than a month ago. Or, gosh, I think it's a month today. I believe so, according to the calendar. But it's so darn hot. The hat is so darn hot. I had to take it off of my head because it's warm in here. But, yeah, the poor folks, the Turning Point chapter, they were selling the hat, but they got shut down because they did not have the proper licensing, I guess, to sell. But before they got shut down, Murphy got his. So I'm proud to wear it and honored to share it with you. So 615-737-9986. A quick timeout. When we return, Larry and Art will get to you. First up, want to talk about peace in the Middle East. We got a number of guests to tell you about, to include Scott Desjardins at 5:05 this afternoon, Jason Weekly of the Nashville Republican Party, GOP Nashville, will be with us in the 6 o'clock hour to talk property taxes in Nashville, Tennessee, which have obviously gone up, and that's going to be passed down to the consumer, which we told you would be the case when Freddie O'Connell was promoting his property tax increase. Freddie O'Connell is 2 years into his first term or maybe only term as mayor of the city of Nashville. How's that gone for us? The only two things he can hang his hat on in the first 2 years of his term as mayor of Nashville: he raised your taxes twice. That's it. I defy you to tell me what else there has been. Hadn't made a decision on a damn thing other than that. And don't tell me the stadium, because the stadium deal was not his deal. Stadium deal was in place long before he became mayor. It is 3:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes, and the Titans have fired head coach Brian Callahan following his 1-5 start to his second season. Callahan leaves with a record of 4-19. The Titans offense ranking near the bottom of the league in both yards and points per game. Titans president of football operations Chad Brinker said the organization hadn't shown enough growth, needed to make a change to build a winning program. We are waiting to hear who might be the head coach in the interim. President Trump's on his way back to the U.S. after a signing ceremony in Egypt related to the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. President Trump, flanked by leaders from the Mideast and Europe, says the agreement is the first step towards stability in the region.
After years of suffering and bloodshed, the war in Gaza is over. Humanitarian aid is now pouring in, including hundreds of truckloads of food, medical equipment, and other supplies, much of it paid for by people in this room.
Back here in Tennessee, we know the names of the 16 people who died in Friday's explosion at Accurate Energetic Systems in McEwen. The victims include Jason Adams, Eric Anderson, Billy Baker, Adam Boatman, Christopher Clark, Mindy Clifton, James Cook, Raina Gillahan, Letitia Mays, Jeremy Moore, Melinda Rainey, Melissa Stafford, Trenton Stewart, Rachel Woodall, Stephen Wright, and Donald Yoel. Humphreys County Sheriff Chris Davis says the names represent more than just a list. They're parents, co-workers, neighbors, and friends.
That's the name of our 16 souls that we're still trying to take care of and their families.
And the cause of the explosion is still under investigation at what Sheriff Davis says is a snail's pace. And the need be. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Over here on the West Loop, got a crash 40 westbound at 65. I'm seeing eastbound South Loop getting a lot of brake tapping over there to 65. You're coming to a complete stop at times. Northbound 65 up to the South Loop, that is getting to be stop and go. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hello, friends. Matt Murphy here, and I want to tell you about something special that's happening at the Glock store this weekend. This Saturday from 9 until 6, it's Vortex Day at the Glock store, and it's going to be a lot of fun, especially if you've never shot a Vortex red dot optic or any red dot optic. They just introduced the enclosed versions of their new red dot optics along with their brand new multi-rectile aiming system. Now, I don't know. That's a fancy way of saying it shoots better, shoots straighter, and I just know from experience and from performance how well these things work. Just $10 plus a box of ammo will get you into the range for a personalized red dot optic training session. I've done this with Mitch, and I encourage you to do it as well. And when you decide if you just have to have one, and you likely will, you can apply the cost of the ammo to your new Vortex optic. So there's really, it's $10, right? And then you get an optic, and you get some shooting time with it before you even buy it. Plus, Vortex is allowing Glock Store to break MAP, that is manufactured advertised pricing, and slash the prices to ensure that they're the lowest in the country, period. Only on Vortex Day and only at the Glock Store. So you're not getting this any other time, and you're not getting this anywhere else. It's the Glock Store, minutes away from the airport, worth the drive from anywhere, especially this Saturday from 9 until 6 on Vortex Day. Do not miss this at the one and only Glock Store. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. It is 3:38. Glad to have you along for the ride this afternoon. Happy Columbus Day. To all of you celebrate. How do you celebrate? How have we not turned Columbus Day into a drinking holiday, too? Don't we do that with every other one? I mean, St. Patrick's Day, let's drink. Cinco de Mayo, time to drink. Labor Day, drinking time.
Random Tuesday morning.
Let's tip them back, boys. Columbus Day, nothing.
We don't even get presents.
I mean, we ought to get presents, right? I give you a nice little headdress or something. Oh, that's for Indigenous Peoples Day. My bad. My bad. And also, I have to say my bad before I go to the phones. I'm being told that Donald Trump is now, he's 79. 79? Man, he gets around. He has just a great vitality for the age of 79. Reminds me that I need to do less drinking. I'll be honest with you. In the meantime, several of you want to speak to the piece. Donald Trump obviously coming back from the Middle East. There's a whirlwind tour. He went over. He met with the Israeli parliament. He went to Egypt. He signed some of the documentation there. No Benjamin Netanyahu there because of a Jewish holiday. And then he's back for the Charlie Kirk ceremony tomorrow. I believe that happens at the White House, where he will present Erica Kirk with the Congressional Medal of Freedom. which is the highest civilian honor, obviously being delivered to Charlie posthumously. And this is happening on Charlie Kirk's birthday, which is tomorrow. We had originally scheduled an event. We had to cancel that event. I'm just alerting you not to belabor the point. It's very disappointing for all of us here at Super Talk 99.7 WTN that we did not or were not able to pull this off. But obviously, it's a great disappointment. I don't want to get into it, but it's just a great disappointment. And hopefully we will be able to get together very, very soon, but unable to do so on Charlie Kirk Day, which is obviously his birthday. 615-737-9986. Larry is first up today. What's up, Larry?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm great.
First of all, I'm pro-Trump as they come. But anybody with common sense to know this peace thing ain't going to hold. Some people's whole lives is nothing but praise Allah, death to the infidel. They got these prisoners released. Right now they're probably in some cushy place getting nourished up, getting exercised up, probably practice at the gun range in the afternoons. They will be back.
Okay.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just listening.
Yeah. You think I'm wrong? I'm 75 years old. I've been watching this stuff go on for so long. I'm tired of hearing about it. There's no peace with them people.
You mean the people of Muslim faith in that part of the world? They want to kill the Jews?
Yes, sir.
Well, let me ask you this, though, Larry. I mean, can we not take the good out of it? I mean, even if I took your position, is today not a good day?
Oh, today's a good day.
But then, so stop right there. So, I mean, look, I'm the biggest pessimist that I know, and I can find the bad in a mountain of good, okay? I can find the needle of bad in the haystack of good. But so far be it from me to be the guy to say, but can we not just take the positive out of this and just accept it for what it is? Could there be war tomorrow? Yes, there could be war tomorrow. Could there be war next week? Yes. Are these radicalized Muslim individuals intent on converting, subjugating, or killing the infidel, including us? Of course they are. We know all of these things. But there's peace today.
Well, that's just today. I'm talking about
but Larry, isn't that something? Isn't that something? Do you not care that the hostages got released?
Oh, I'm glad they're released. But we got 20 people that cut loose. How many criminals to them? That's why they did it. It's in their Quran. They can lie, cheat, steal, do whatever they want to serve their means. That's what just took place.
So we shouldn't have done it?
Oh, yeah, I guess we should have. But don't act like they're not coming back.
Nobody's making any promises about tomorrow, Larry.
Yep.
I mean, nobody. I think let's take me by the hand and let's walk on the sunny side of the street, Larry. Come on.
Well, it's a good day today.
Good day today.
Plenty of days there's no terrorist attacks.
Well, and there aren't innocent people in captivity, and there's nobody dying today. At least, hopefully, nobody dying today in that portion of the world. And I feel like that's a good thing. And you know what? Tomorrow might be the same as today. And the next day might be the same as today. Let's hope so.
You can't ignore the fact they killed half the hostages.
No, they killed over half the hostages.
Sure.
I mean, they slaughtered over 1,200 people on October 7th, 2023. Sure.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And, the estimates that I saw, Trump said it was, 58,000 Palestinian fighters, Hamas fighters have been killed in the fighting. So, I mean, that's a lot of bad guys and a lot of innocent people. And, I mean, there's a lot of death, sure. I mean, but no, I don't make any promises about what happens tomorrow in the Middle East, and anyone that does is a fool. But reality sets in, and we recognize that there's going to be further hostilities, and the Muslims don't seem to want to play nice or play well with other people in that region of the world. But the idea that they got so many of these nations in the Middle East on board with this peace accord today is something. They got them on paper today. That's something. That's something.
Yeah, I'm a gambler. If I was going to place a bet, I know where mine would go. What's going to happen? I ain't saying it's going to happen tomorrow. Might not happen next week. Might be months from now.
Well, it's easy. It's easy. Betting on murder and mayhem is easy money. Easy money.
Especially with them people. Especially with them people.
Yeah.
They come right out and tell you they're going to do it.
Well,
death to the infidel.
Yep. Larry, thank you for the call. I appreciate it. I don't know. And maybe I'm not making any sense. It is not in my nature to be the optimist. So I'm not accustomed to this. But, and Larry, I'm not knocking you. I understand the nature of wanting to look, well, they're going to do it again. Well, they're going to do it next week. They're going to do it next month. And look, there are many I say radicalized. I could easily say it a different way, but the Muslim nations and the Muslim population in the Middle East, generally speaking, do not like the Jewish people, and generally speaking are in agreement that they have authority, dominion over all infidels, which would include Christians too. They believe that they have the ability to subjugate those individuals, to enslave them, or to convert them, or to kill them. The Muslim faith is different. And one of the reasons that I looked on college campuses around the United States of America, and I just scratched my head, I was fascinated. So many of the people that were claiming to support, quote unquote, Palestine, I'm like, do you understand what the Palestinians, had they the ability, would do to you? These groups of people are of a faith that they would have you killed immediately. Killed. Homosexuals for Palestine. They're going to throw you off of a building. What are you? Oh, that's just their culture. They want to expand their culture to every part of the world. So, look, it is not my nature necessarily to celebrate, but this is a big thing. This is a big deal. And it should be noted as such. I mean, even if you are, for whatever reason, neutral on the issue, or even if you are pro-Palestinian on the issue and anti-Israel, it's a big day for you. Tens of thousands, Donald Trump put the estimate at 58,000. Tens of thousands of Palestinians have been killed over the last couple of years. The infrastructure of Gaza is gone for the most part. It's been decimated. And obviously, it is a huge humanitarian crisis trying to get food and aid to those individuals, and you cannot do that in the midst of the fighting. Art is next. Maybe Art will make me feel better about all of this. Hey, Art, how are you?
Well, I don't know if I can make you feel better or not. I sort of kind of agree with the previous caller, but on a different angle, I guess. I don't think that the peace will be long-lasting because because of the nature of these groups. If you remember right, the last time a peace treaty was signed was under Jimmy Carter, who was actually a pretty good president if he hadn't been such a pacifist. But Jimmy Carter made a deal with Menachem Begin and Anwar Sadat, and because of it, Sadat was assassinated by his own people, by the Muslim Brotherhood, and because they won't stand for peace. Their own people won't stand for peace, and the reason is the Arabs go back to Abraham as their father. And
wait, so you don't? I mean, I'm sorry to interrupt you. You don't consider the Abraham Accords to be a big deal?
Well, I'm glad for them. I don't think anybody could have done this except Trump, and I hope it lasts. But eventually, I think it's going to fall apart.
Well, you had the United Arab Emirates, Sudan, Morocco, and I'm missing. They all signed an agreement to recognize and normalize relations with Israel, which is historic in its nature. That happened in 2020. So
it is. but the Israelites go back to Abraham as their founder, and so do the Arabs. And God promised that land in the scriptures and in the Quran to their groups individually, through Isaac, to the Jewish people, and Ishmael, the illegitimate son, to the Arabs. And so they both believe that from the middle of the Euphrates River, which is halfway into Iraq, Syria, Turkey, the whole area there up to the shores of Jerusalem, they both believe that land belongs to them, and they're supposed to possess it. And they're hell-bent on it to the point of being willing to kill anybody that, doesn't comply. That's why they want to push Israel into the sea. So, the Arabs got all that land that they could give to the Palestinians if they wanted to, but they want Israel's land because they think Israel is illegitimately possessing the land, and Israel thinks the Arabs are illegitimately possessing the land. And because you can't reconcile that, you never will reconcile that until the Lord comes back. It'll never be reconciled. And there'll always be those amongst their groups that will,
I've never, how AA operates, Art. I don't know if you've ever known anyone that's been a part of Alcoholics Anonymous,
Yeah,
but I'm aware of how they operate, and I used the same philosophy when I quit smoking. I smoked for 17 years, from the age of 15 till I was 32. I'm 52 now, so I've been quit for 20 years. I smoked about a pack and a half a day when I was smoking. And I decided that if I considered never smoking again, and I'm telling you a story, Art, but this is going someplace, so bear with me for a second. So I decided that if I tried to tell myself that I was never going to smoke again, much like if an alcoholic tries to say, well, I'm never drinking again, it becomes overwhelming. The desire, the internal desires of that addiction kind of start taking over. So the concept of one day at a time came through that, and this has been utilized in so many different ways. And I utilized that to quit smoking. And so I did something mentally to quit smoking. Is I just counted. So I was like, today's day one, today's day two. I'm not smoking today, I told myself. I'm not smoking today, I told myself. And then I would count the number of days. And eventually that number took on a life of its own, in that I knew that if I had one cigarette, that I was going to destroy everything that I had built to that moment. And I would destroy the 30 days or the 40 days or the 50 days. And I got up to over 400 days, Art, where I was counting actively. Every morning I would get up and I would say, what day is today? Today's day 347. Today's day 348. My point is, I don't disagree with you that war is apt to break out in the Middle East. I don't disagree with you that there are factions in that region of the world that have been prophesized biblically to war with one another till the end of time. But I do know this. Nobody's dying today. Nobody's dying today. And maybe nobody will die tomorrow. And maybe if we just take it one day at a time, then before you know it, we get to 100 or 150 or 200 or 300 or 400 days where nobody's killed over their religious faith. I don't know. Maybe I'm being a Pollyanna, Art. What do you think?
Well, I agree with you, and I hope for the best. I think it makes sense that they would walk, and not circumspectly with their religion, but deviate from it enough to where they can live with each other, and there might be peace in the Middle East. I'm hopeful, but I'm looking at it because I'm a former Baptist preacher, retired. I'm looking at it from a theological point of view because that's how they look at it, and so I'm hoping for the best, but the Bible says when there's peace in Israel, then the Lord's coming back. So we can look forward to not having to deal with it if it lasts.
Well, that wouldn't be such. Well, yeah. I mean, I get it. I understand what you're saying too. Art, thank you for the call. I appreciate you. I just want to be happy today. That's all. 615-737-9986. It's 5 until the top on Super Talk. Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy for Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply. You can find them online at dickenssupply.com. Don't worry, I'll give you that website once again after I tell you all about seed season. SEED, seed season. It's here. And Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply is ready with all the seeds, fertilizers, pre-emergent, and herbicide that you need to get your property ready for the fall months and the winter time. You need to protect the lawn throughout the course of the winter. I mean, we get cold enough that it could kill it off, right? Their proven turf technology tall fescue blend and their premium starter fertilizers will not be found at your big box stores. They only offer them at Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply, and they are good stuff. September and October, best time to sow cool season grasses like tall fescue, like rye, and they offer professional advice and know-how. If you are a DIYer, then they've got you covered at Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply because you are going where the pros go. 7 convenient locations: Nashville, Bellevue, Murfreesboro, Brentwood, Mower, Hendersonville, Mount Juliet, and Franklin. Stop by dickenssupply.com. Talk to one of the pros there. They'll help you out, or go online to dickenssupply.com. That's dickenssupply.com. For many of us, it's happening. Your hair's thinning, your crown disappearing, maybe hair loss has you feeling you're losing your identity altogether. Well, I've got good news. It's an incredible yet simple one-day treatment that starts growing your own natural hair the very next day. It is the FUE treatment from Advanced Hair. We've all seen the pills, right? Or the lotions that come with monthly subscriptions. Well, this might help you retain what you have, but you never regrow the hair that you've completely lost. That's where Advanced Hair's state-of-the-art facilities go to work. Their world-class doctors say not maybe your hair will regrow. It's guaranteed that your hair will grow. You decide how much, how thick, and where. It's why Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives and why I recommend Advanced Hair to everyone I talk to. For your free consultation, $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Call 629-348-HAIR, 629-348-HAIR, or advancedhair.com. That's advancedhair.com.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. And right now in Middle Tennessee, authorities officially announcing the identities of the 16 people who died in Friday's Accurate Energetic Systems explosion in McEwen. Channel 4 says some of their families are not ready to accept what happened.
I was very frustrated. I got very upset. I was mad. I wanted to know, where Mom was, why they didn't take the rubble off.
We're just having a problem with understanding how something this major has happened. And we just need some answers.
Humphreys County Sheriff Chris Davis says the investigation continues, but at a snail's pace and for good reason. Here's Channel 4's Brendan Tierney.
TBI has been working through the debris using DNA testing to confirm the remains. They can only get to an area after it's been cleared by the bomb squad, and they're having to go sometimes foot by foot or inch by inch. It's a very slow process.
Agencies involved include the ATF, FBI, National Center for Explosives Training and Research. Controlled detonations being conducted to safely dispose of anything volatile. Here in Nashville, it's official. Brian Callahan out as head coach of the Tennessee Titans. The team announced his firing after a 1-5 start to the season and a disappointing 4-19 overall record. Channel 4's Chris Harris says Titans leadership cited a lack of progress and offensive struggles as key reasons for the move.
Now, the only statement from the team so far comes from President of Operations Chad Brinker. He writes, among other things, while we are committed to a patient and strategic plan to build a sustainable winning football program, we have not demonstrated sufficient growth. There's that word again. The growth has not happened. The young quarterback isn't progressing, and so they made a change.
No word on who the Titans might tap as the interim head coach. Brian Callahan becomes the first NFL head coach fired this season. Phase 1 of the Middle East peace agreement nearing completion. The hostage and prisoner swap.
This is a special report from ABC News. I'm Michelle Franzen. A full day of emotions across Israel as families reunited with 20 surviving hostages held for more than 2 years in Gaza after the Hamas October 7th attacks. The mother of Bar Cooperstein receiving a phone call before his transfer by Hamas to the Red Cross. But other families are still waiting. Just 4 bodies of the 28 hostages killed were returned today. ABC's Ian Pannell is in Hostage Square in Tel Aviv.
They came together, the whole hostage and family movement, and they're still here, still active, still lobbying for the remains of the deceased hostages to be returned. They're upset that only 4 of the bodies will have been released by the end of today, accusing Hamas of reneging on the deal.
President Trump spoke to Israeli lawmakers and then traveled to Egypt for a summit with Arab, Muslim, and European leaders, signing the peace plan that includes, he says, disarming Hamas and rebuilding Gaza. This is ABC News.
That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, over here on the West Loop, got a crash 40 westbound at 65. In Williamson County, 840 westbound at Pinewood Road, exit 14. Pegram, McCrory Lane at I-40. Then in Clarksville, we've got 2 crashes, both of them 24 westbound. One of them at Wilma Rudolph Boulevard, the other one at the Clarksville-Trenton exit 1. I'm Ken Weaver.
All right, Super Talk 99.7 WTN would love to hear from you on this holiday edition of the Matt Murphy Radio Show. That's right, it's Monday, but it is also Columbus Day. We've got Ken Weaver back in News Closet B. He gathers headlines, delivers those twice an hour. When news breaks, we hear from Ken, and we hear from him from time to time otherwise. By the way, Weaver, before I get Jackson in here, because if I get Jackson in here, we're probably going to have to hear that music again.
Yep, you are. We have a little bit of something.
What do you got, Jackson?
1 second. You talk to Ken.
Hello, Ken.
What's up?
I guess our conversation's over. Why are you playing that again?
We have an interim coach.
All right.
Oh, you literally have an update?
Yes,
I thought you were just
got
messing
this
with me.
as the music was playing. Tom Pelissero of the NFL Network reporting. Titans expected to name Mike McCoy interim head coach.
Who's that?
McCoy was the Chargers head coach from 2013 through 2016 and was a senior offensive assistant in Callahan's Tennessee staff.
Oh. Well, I mean, considering how well the offense has been doing,
Senior offensive assistant is not, he didn't have a lot of control. So he's going from a position where he had no control to having all of it.
okay. Well,
Let's see how this goes.
But you said he was a head coach?
He was a head coach for the San Diego, at the time, Chargers from 2013 through 2016. Mike McCoy.
They're in Los Angeles now? I guess. Yeah, that makes sense. Why don't I know this?
They share a stadium with the Rams.
But that's like 50 miles. San Diego and Los Angeles are like 50 miles from one another, something like that, right? 80
Ken,
miles,
you know
100
your
miles?
geography.
I don't. I don't know California.
I don't know anything about California. I know there's Northern California and Southern California.
There's no Eastern or Western?
No.
Well, there is, but you never hear much about.
What's East California like?
East California is the desert.
It's just Arizona?
Yeah, Nevada.
Arizona, Nevada.
Yeah, basically. It's the desert over there. And you know what? You know what's on the other side? The ocean. That's right. You go ocean, a lot of cities, desert. That's what I know about California. And that's all I know about California because I've never been there. Anyway, so that's our update. Official?
That is your update.
His name is what again?
Mike McCoy.
Okay, Mike McCoy will be leading the team out of the tunnel Sunday as they take on the
Fighting Mike Vrabels.
New England Patriots. That's game time at 12 o'clock?
A nooner.
A nooner? Yeah. Well, most of them probably will be.
Actually, a lot of 3 o'clock games for the Titans this season.
Well, I mean, we're out on the shaky side, right?
What do you mean?
That's what I call the
West Coast.
The West Coast.
Next
is
week
the shaky
they have
side.
a game in Indianapolis that's a 3:25 game.
Wonder why that is.
They didn't feel like putting them on at noon. Wanted people to enjoy their mornings.
You know, have a nice brunch. Enjoy your food. We'll put you off your dinner after having watched that nastiness. Do you what is your prediction while we're talking sports? Predictions on the final record of the Tennessee Titans at the end of the season.
I think they get 2 more wins, 3 and 14.
Who do you think they're going to beat?
Who the hell are they going to beat?
I mean, they just lost to the teams that were
1-4. I don't know who
They play the Saints.
Do they?
Yeah, the Saints are terrible.
There's a chance there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then there's another one they might surprise Mike Vrabel this week. You know, teams get an interim coach boost. Have you heard about this, Matt?
I have not.
It's when you fire your coach and you get an interim, you play a lot better the next week, and then it falls off a cliff.
Really?
Yes.
You think Penn State should enjoy that this
weekend? They will
weekend?
enjoy it this, and Arkansas enjoyed it this weekend, much more competitive than they have been against a Tennessee team.
Let's see. Titans, Patriots, Titans, Colts, Titans, Chargers, Titans, Texans. I haven't seen a win yet. Titans, Seahawks, Titans, Titans, Browns.
Browns and Saints.
They play the Jets?
They don't.
Yeah,
Oh, well,
that's too
that
bad.
was a chance.
Yeah.
Ken, what's your prediction? Final record.
I think that's fair what you just said. 3-14.
I think 3-14.
That's
I mean,
fair.
I think they can win those.
Let's do that as a show, guys. Murphy Show predicts 3-14. You want to, Ken?
Put it
All
on
right.
a banner.
3-14.
3-14.
And
first pick in the draft.
I like that Cam Ward kid, man.
I do
I'm
too.
hoping he.
I think that's why this move was made. You've looked at, not to get too sports talky on the news talky, you saw his development regressing rather than progressing.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why the move comes now rather than wait to the end of the season.
And that's why everybody's talking about Joe Brady being the next big thing. He's commanding that offense at the Buffalo Bills, and the expectation is that he could ascend to a head coach position. But my point is that's what Brian Callahan was, right? Brian Callahan was an offensive guy.
Joe Brady has called
elevated.
plays.
Yeah. I mean, I understand that, but then why did they hire Brian Callahan? Everybody says that. Everybody goes, well, Brian Callahan never called plays. Well, then why the hell did you hire him to begin with?
Honestly, I don't know.
I mean, why did they hire Brian Callahan?
Because they fired Mike Vrabel.
Hey, but you know what I'm saying?
Had a vacancy.
See, every,
You mean Callahan didn't call plays for the Bengals?
No.
Really?
That's what all
the
these
head
sports nerds are telling me now. I'm like, well, then why did they hire him? He
We
was
talked
Mr.
about this on
All the Best Words.
Yeah.
Yeah, the podcast.
Interesting.
Hey, I get confused. It's like, well, then why did they hire him? Oh, because he was an offensive guru.
He had worked with a lot of impressive quarterbacks.
Yeah,
and they
Joe
thought,
Burrow.
They thought he could do the same with Will Levis and Cam Ward.
What's Mayo Boy doing right now? Rehabbing?
Yeah, he's hurt.
Okay. All right, that's enough sports on the news talk station. John says 1-16 unless somebody forfeits. A lot of anger.
That's rough.
Scott says 0-16. I don't know how they're going to have to give up the victory.
They'll take one away.
They're not going to take one away. And they play 17 games now, Scott. So Scott's like 0-16. I don't think they can take it away. But 1-16 seems more likely than anything above 3 or 4 wins. Can Matt just say 6? I can say 6-7. 6-7. That's the way I feel about this conversation right now. You know the 6-7 thing, Ken?
No.
Have you heard about this?
No.
The kids these days?
No, I have not.
That's the new phrase that the kids are using.
6-7?
6-7.
What's that mean?
It means I don't know. I've tried to have people explain it to me. It means I'm not really interested in this conversation, I think, or this conversation doesn't matter a lot to me. What does the intraweb say it means, Ken? I hear you type it in there.
6-7 is a slang term, largely nonsensical, that is popular on social media.
6-7.
It was popularized by Charlotte Hornets point guard LaMelo Ball.
Yeah. Who is 6'7" inches tall.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So if you wanted to hear me say 6'7", I just said it. 6'7". I'm. You know what this conversation is to me?
6'7".
6'7". Right now. Rita, I'm sorry. I was getting to you on the Gaza peace deal, and you had to hang up there. I apologize. Call us back as soon as you can. President Donald Trump joined 20 other world leaders in Egypt today for talks on Gaza's future in the first phase of the Israel-Hamas ceasefire agreement, which is underway. Among those gathered for the summit, Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas, French President Emmanuel Macron, German Chancellor Friedrich Merz, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, and former Prime Minister Tony Blair, as well as officials from Qatar, Egypt, Jordan, and the United Arab Emirates, as well as Turkey. The group posed for pictures and in front of a sign that read Peace 2025. Trump and the rest said world leaders seated behind them formally signed the document that Trump said would spell out a lot of rules and regulations and a lot of other things. Trump declaring it took 3,000 years to get to this point. Can you believe it? And it's going to hold up too. I believe it's going to hold up. Whether it holds up or not remains to be seen. Trump also delivered remarks touting the breakthrough as a turning point in the region. It is very, very difficult for the mainstream media in the United States of America to give Donald Trump the credit that he's being given around the rest of the globe. Did you hear, by the way, the Venezuelan woman that won the Nobel Peace Prize, dedicated the Peace Prize to Donald Trump? Did this last Friday afternoon. Said, I dedicate this to President Trump. He's done so much for Venezuela, done so much for our people, and is doing so much for peace around the globe. He deserves it. In the meantime, she's giving him credit for the peace. The mainstream media begrudgingly giving Donald Trump credit. What about the liberal Democrats in the United States? Not so much. Gavin Newsom posting about 8 hours ago, the only thing Donald Trump can keep open these days is an umbrella. Apparently, Donald Trump had a little trouble with the umbrella getting on Air Force One at one point. By the way, this is the same guy that just negotiated the release of 20 human beings who have been held in captivity for 238 days. You scumbag. Yeah, I said it. Gavin Newsom can't spend a moment not obsessed with the possibility of running for president in 2028. Can't spend a moment to consider the lives that are being saved right now, not just Israeli lives, Palestinian lives as well, lives in Gaza as well. Hell, the terrorists. I mean, it's just absurd that the political left either chooses to remain completely silent on what is clearly a moment in history, in world history, or they denounce Donald Trump as not a factor in all of this, or whatever, whatever their talking point is this morning or this afternoon, they roll with it, and it's just absurd. It's ridiculous. 615-737-9986, our telephone number if you'd like to be a part of the show. The shutdown continues in the United States of America, and the United States of America doesn't seem to care that much. I mean, I understand that some of you might have been impacted if you work for example, a defense contractor. If you work for an individual that is directly involved with the United States government, then perhaps you have been impacted. Or if you are a member of the United States military, et cetera, maybe you're impacted. But otherwise, largely, the United States of America doesn't seem to give a rip that the government remains shut down. Thank you to the Democrats. I would suggest this. Senate Democrats are currently holding hostages. Donald Trump just saw 20 hostages released, and the bodies of another 28 hostages soon to be released. Some of them already have been, but the 20 living hostages have now been released from their captivity, 238 days. Or, I'm sorry, 738 days. 738 days, over 2 years in captivity. Yet the Democrats in the United States Senate are currently holding hostages. The American people are being held hostage. Those impacted by the government shutdown are being held hostage. Are they not? All because they refuse to accept the democratic process. They refuse to accept the results of the 2024 election. Please tell me I'm wrong, because I'm not. Now, you can try. I may be wrong, but I doubt it. The Democrats do not believe in elections that don't go their way. And so they will do everything in their power to circumvent the democratic process. And the mainstream media minions will never call them out on it. We will call them out on it right after this. We'll get to Rita's call. She has called back. 615-737-9986. It's The Murphy Show on Super Talk. Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for the Tennessee Men's Clinic. The Tennessee Men's Clinic is your one-stop shop for all things men's health, especially men's sexual health. And I understand that these conversations get a little bit tricky because they're very personal, but here's the deal, guys. If you have lost your fastball, or if you're not in the game anymore, if you're in the dugout and you want to get back in the game, the way to do this is with the Tennessee Men's Clinic. Gentlemen, a lack of intimacy and romantic partnership in your relationship can be a deal breaker. If you are concerned about it, it is time to get with the Tennessee Men's Clinic because they can assist you. They're qualified urologists and 3 separate locations, one in Cool Springs, one in Midtown, and one in Clarksville. They can help. One telephone call, make an appointment to the location nearest you, talk to one of the urologists for $99. They'll give you a complete examination and, if qualified, a treatment, a first treatment right there at your first appointment. That's what it's all about. They'll get some blood work done. They see where your testosterone levels are, exactly where they need to be, etc. And off you go with a treatment personalized to your situation that can help get you back in the game, man. Let's do this. TennesseeMen'sClinic.com or call 615-208-9090, 208-9090. I am getting over to 4th Avenue South this week. I've made a promise to Mark that I'm going to go over there. I made him that promise a couple of weeks ago because I've not seen some of the brand new safes that are in stock at Nashville Safe House. I've not seen the Matt Murphy special that's running quite yet, but I will when I stop by. Ask them about the Matt Murphy special. It's happening right now at Nashville Safe House. And despite the fact that I've not seen it, I know about it, and I approve of this message, right? So they have over 200 safes right there on the showroom floor. I mean, of all brand names, of all shapes, of all sizes, they have the right one for you. You never pay sales tax on a gun safe at Nashville Safe House. Of course you don't. Secondarily, you're going to pay less because they've got the best rebates in town, and and I love saying this, they charge you for delivery at Nashville Safe House. Why are you saying that, Mark? Because a lot of other people, these are big-time items, and they take a delivery crew, a professional delivery crew, to get them to your home. They don't sign that off to some third party at the Nashville Safe House. My goodness, no. They do that with their in-house crews, and they don't absorb the cost of that into the price of their safe. They separate that because these are two separate things, and they don't. Well, they don't lie to you about it either. Mark and his team want to talk with you. Go visit Mark before I do and ask him about the Matt Murphy special at the Nashville Safe House. Online at NashvilleSafeHouse.com or on the road, 4th Avenue South in Nashville, across from City Cemetery.
We have learned the names of the 16 victims that authorities say were killed in Friday's accurate energetic systems explosion in McEwen. We're also learning why it is taking so long to come up with the cause of this of what happened. We'll let you know coming up at 4:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Yeah, we'll be talking a little about that coming up as well. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Just an absolute tragedy from last Friday. 16 dead. Confirmed now, as Ken Weaver just mentioned. And cause of the explosion, frankly, I mean, I don't know how you begin figuring that out, considering that this was a total devastation. You're literally talking about trying to piece something back together that has been totally obliterated. The debris field, it's my understanding, was well in excess of a mile. A debris field in excess of a mile from a static explosion. It's incredible. Incredible. So we look forward to that update coming up in just a couple of minutes on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. We're talking about 6'7", Jackson?
6'7".
You know why? Jackson, do you know why 6 was afraid of 7?
Because 7, 8, 9.
Hey-oh!
That's the way to go, Brother Jackson.
Come on. That's good. You like that? Good joke.
That passed for humor when Matt was a kid.
That's, back before we had
books.
These jokes are funny until
Till you're actually senile?
What?
What?
I'm sorry. Hello, Rita. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for calling back.
So, yeah, I was just listening when you were talking about the peace deal and everything, and people calling in and being so negative, and I understand that. I mean, it's been war and miserable things going on there as long as I can remember. But can we not just be happy? Can we not just be thankful? And imagine we had more world leaders like President Trump and go in that direction. So that's actually all I wanted to say. It's like there's so much terrible things going on in this world, and nothing will ever change if we just don't believe anything good will come out of anything.
Well, no, yeah. I mean, I think it's well spoken, Rita, and I appreciate the telephone call today. I've been, I am getting to a point. I laugh at Jackson, who regularly calls me old. I am feeling old because I've been doing this a long time now, almost 26 years, and we've seen some of these moments come and go, and I've heard the naysayers. And the naysayers, I mean, I'm not even saying they're naysayers. They're just, the language is always the same. There will never be peace in the Middle East. There will never be peace in the Middle East. There will never be peace in the Middle East. Okay. I hear you. Well, there's more peace in the Middle East today than there was yesterday. And maybe we can continue to have peace tomorrow. And maybe the factions will not be killing one another in the way that they were 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks from now. That's the spirit that I want to keep up. I don't pretend to have all of the answers. I don't believe anyone has all of the answers in the Middle East. But this president has negotiated something that most of his critics considered to be impossible a month ago. Most of the Democrats that are now desperate to try to give Biden some level of credit on this, I listened as what was his name? Jared Sullivan, former national security advisor to sleepy Joe Biden. Oh, yeah, well, it's good to see that Donald Trump worked with the framework that we built for him. Shut up. Nobody believes that. You don't even believe that. So we do give him all the credit in the world. It's 4:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. And right now in Middle Tennessee, authorities have released the names of the 16 victims they say were killed in Friday's explosion at Accurate Energetic Systems in McEwen. Meanwhile, Humphreys County Sheriff Chris Davis says the investigation into the cause continues, but at a snail's pace.
This is a very tedious situation. It's a lot of moving parts, from the investigative to the case to families and feelings.
Yeah, after the initial blast, several secondary explosions occurred, complicating rescue and containment efforts and increasing the danger for first responders. So to go about finding remains and identifying them, sometimes the bomb squad is only able to move a foot at a time, and then TBI comes in behind with what they call rapid DNA equipment to help identify any remains of the 16 victims. The Tennessee Titans have not yet officially named an interim head coach following the firing of Brian Callahan. However, Mike McCoy, the team's senior offensive assistant and former Chargers head coach, widely expected to take over on an interim basis. Callahan fired today, the team announcing it after a 1-5 start to the season and a 4-19 overall record. And the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas is official. President Trump signing it with leaders from all over Europe and the Middle East looking on during a special ceremony in Egypt.
This took 3,000 years to get to this point. Can you believe it? And it's going to hold up, too. It's going to hold up.
We get more from ABC's Ian Pannell in Tel Aviv at Hostage Square.
There are things that are unresolved, not least the bodies of the deceased hostages. That has to be resolved. But this was like the first day being here where there was an air, a lightness in the air, where people were smiling. People dared believe that this actually was the end of the war. And we saw wave after wave of applause, of crying, of hugging, of singing.
Hundreds of aid trucks now entering Gaza from Egypt, with plans to increase to 600 trucks a day to address famine and devastation. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, drivers over on the East Bank, we got a crash eastbound there at Shelby Avenue. In Clarksville, we've got two crashes going westbound on 24. There's one there at exit 4, and then another one right before you cross into Kentucky. Edge Hill here in Nashville, 12th Avenue South, just north of Edge Hill Avenue. And then in Fairview, we've got a crash reported 840 westbound at Pinewood Road. In Pegram, McCrory Lane, right there at I-40. I'm Ken Weaver.
My friends at the Tennessee Sleep Apnea and TMJ Solution Center want so much for you to give them a call because they want you to sleep better. They want you to have a more restful night's sleep. I was in your shoes, friends, as I did not recognize that I had a sleep apnea issue until I talked to Dr. Brian McLaughlin and the rest of the team at the Tennessee Sleep Apnea and TMJ Solution Center. For those who cannot wear a CPAP machine, and I never could have worn a CPAP machine, if you have mild to moderate sleep apnea, there is an FDA-approved oral device that is manufactured right there in-house. They do a 3D scan of your mouth to make sure that this is a custom fit for you. And it has to be that way, obviously, because it's going to hold the jaw gently forward throughout the course of the night. You won't notice it after a night or two. And you'll sleep better. You breathe throughout the course of the night. You get the energy in the morning that you deserve through a restful night's sleep. That's what it's all about. They're in network with BCBS, Aetna, Cigna, United Healthcare, and Medicare. They are in network in most insurance instances in the state of Tennessee. That's great, too. So as we approach the end of the year, folks, maybe take advantage of that insurance company if you've met that deductible by going ahead and making an appointment with TennesseeSleep.com. That's TennesseeSleep.com for Dr. Brian McLaughlin and the Sleep Apnea and TMJ Solution Center. Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for Cover Nash. You know, now's the time of year that we often think about our insurance because people have been caught up in this trap. And Shane Ring can talk to you about it of open enrollment. Oh, I can't do anything until open enrollment. Oh, open enrollment. Friends, you can do something all of the year. But if you're of this mindset, well, now's the time, right, to make the call to Cover Nash, to give that check on your insurance, to make sure everything's operating as it should, to make sure you're not overpaying, to make sure you're getting the coverage that you deserve. That's what Shane Ring is for. And you know that Shane's not selling you on any particular insurance product because that's not what he does. He shops the entire market working for you as your local health insurance expert. It's what he is, and it's what he can do for you. He can find you the best deals. He can make sure that you're not overpaying. That's what it's all about. Call Shane Ring today at Cover Nash, 615-465-0023, 465-0023, or online at covernash.com. And when you do, tell him Matt Murphy sent you to the one and only Cover Nash. It is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. You know, the anti-Semites are the ones that are most harmed by today's news, I suppose. Be they, Muslim, radicalized Muslim anti-Semites or some of the anti-Semites around these United States of America. I'm not talking about those that would criticize the government of Israel. That's on the table, and that's all fine and good. I'm talking about the anti-Semites, and rational people know the difference. 615-737-9986, our telephone number, if you'd like to comment on what is obviously a historic day across the United States of America and across the globe, with Donald Trump brokering an incredible peace deal. Highlight of his presidency, certainly the highlight of his second term thus far, and he's done a lot. The big, beautiful bill was a big deal. Closing down the border without needing further action by the Congress of the United States of America, something that Joe Biden always said he needed. A big deal. Rounding up radical illegal alien lunatics and getting them out of this country as they should have been gotten out of this country years ago. It's a big deal. But this, depending on how long lasting, potentially an even bigger deal. Bonnie is in Tullahoma with a thought on all of it. Hello, Bonnie.
Hello, how are you?
I'm great. I hope you are.
I love the weather.
Oh, man, isn't it great?
Yeah, it's nice.
It is nice. Yeah.
No, I just wanted to comment on President Donald Trump. Hope my fan club out there's listening. I think he's done a wonderful job. I voted for him, but I am not happy with how he hasn't gotten the food prices down. He hasn't gotten the gas down enough. It's coming down a hair, but it's not enough. But I do think this is wonderful news, what he's done.
So you feel like inflation's still popping you at the grocery store?
Oh, it's terrible. You go try to buy you a steak or a pork roast or some high dollar red meat.
Wow, Bonnie, I'm a ramen noodle budget kind of guy. You know what I mean?
No, you're not. I can tell by your belly.
Bonnie.
I mean, you're not big, but I mean, you're fleshy looking. I know you don't eat just Roman noodles.
Brother Murphy, he's trimming up there.
I'm showing everybody my big belly on TV, Bonnie.
That big old belly.
You're not big. I mean, you're just kind of fluffy. You're not big at all, but
he's big boned, Bonnie.
Bonnie, I'm going to take that as a compliment. I think I'm a little fluffy myself.
It is a compliment.
Oh,
Women don't like skinny men. And men don't like skinny and bony women.
Well, you're right about that. So, Bonnie, point being, back to the point. So you don't feel like we've gotten inflation and we're not getting it back to where you'd like for it to be quickly enough.
Do you really want want me to tell you how I feel?
Yeah, and Bob, that's what we're here for.
Today, I called my insurance company, Farm Bureau, and I said, "Is my insurance due yet?" And they said, "It'll be due the 25th. I said, "How much is it?" "It's gone up." I mean, how? You know, I'm not a rich woman. So I'm just going to go find me an old cheap insurance company to go with. I mean, you know, I just have liability. I've just got a little push-around car. I ain't driving. I mean, if you saw me sometimes when I'm dressed up, you'd think I was driving a nice SUV, but I can't afford nice stuff.
Well, I get it.
I have to change my insurance company.
And I think gasoline has come down. I think gasoline was like it's at $2.50 or something like that now.
Well, now in Franklin, Kentucky always has cheap gas. It's about probably $2.45, and Murfreesboro it's about $2.42.
So we need to work on. So as far as you're concerned, all good, all well and good on the peace deal, but we need to work on pricing.
I like Donald Trump. I think the men that don't like him, they're jealous of him because his brain, he's smart.
Mm-hmm.
He knows how to do stuff, and I think a lot of people are jealous of him. I think he's done a good job. I don't know about the Jeffrey Epstein thing. I don't know enough about that, but I mean, if he's in there and he's done some stuff, you know, the piper's got to pay, but I don't know nothing about that.
Yeah.
I just know that he's done a good job, it looks to be. I mean, my God, did Biden do any of this?
No. Joe Biden didn't know he was president of the United States half the time.
No, he was too busy with Ukraine and his son with those women.
Well, Bonnie, thank you for the perspective. Thank you for the call. And remember, Bonnie,
what?
You know, some of the poorest people I know are fat.
Hey, now I didn't say you were fat. when I first met you the first time, you were healthy looking.
I've been a little healthier. I'd gotten out of control by, you know, about 6 years ago, I got up to 285, Bonnie. I know.
Oh, no.
I know it.
Hey, whoever that man is laughing, he has a really cute laugh. Every time I hear him.
That's Ken Weaver. You should say, if you think his laugh is cute, you should see his big belly.
Well, I'll take it because he's got a cute laugh.
Well, thank you, Bonnie.
Thank you, Bonnie.
He makes me laugh. Well, I better get off so someone else can talk.
All right. Well, thank you for your call, and I appreciate you. Bonnie laying it down where the goats can graze on it.
Bonnie can call back anytime
she wants. Love her calls. I'm big bone. My grandma used to tell me I was big bone.
Yeah.
I was a fat little rascal, fat little kid. You're not fat. You're just big boned. I'm like, Ma, it's not my bones that weigh so much. It's my fat rolls that weigh.
Oh.
Good gracious, Bonnie. Bonnie, one way or the other, I don't, you know, I'm not. I try to tell you if I am unaware or if I'm non-learned on a subject. I honestly don't know where we're at on grocery prices because I don't shop enough. I mean, I'm frankly, I am blessed enough in my life that I don't comparison shop when I do go, and I don't really remember, and maybe I should, but I don't remember what something cost 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago and what something costs today. So I don't examine the specific prices on things. Maybe I should be better about that, but I can't tell you where egg prices are today from last month. I rely on media reporting on that. So maybe it's better, maybe it's not, maybe Bonnie's right, maybe it's taking too long. I'll depend on you in the listening audience. I do agree with Bonnie that I'm fluffy. So there's that. But I'm working on it. Scott is next. Hey, Scott, what's up?
Oh, not much, Matt. Hey, I love the show. Been listening to y'all for years.
Thank
been
you.
listening to 99.7 for probably 25, 30 years, I guess now. Anyways, love the show. Bonnie done got me curious. Now I'm going to have to look you up, see what you look like, because I got a picture of you in my mind. I kind of don't want to look at you now.
You don't want to see. You don't want to see all this.
Ken Weaver, I love that laugh. I've been listening to. I love that laugh. It's infectious. Anyways, the reason I called, Bonnie started up the conversation.
By the way, Scott Weaver thinks Bonnie's a little too funny. I think everything's all good and well, but every time somebody mentions how fluffy Murphy is, Ken's losing it in there.
Oh,
that's pretty funny, though.
I bet Ken's like my family. Just sit around the room and just laugh.
Yes, sir.
But
oh man.
But anyways, the reason I called, Bonnie started up the conversation. I love this weather. And it got me to thinking. I've been looking at the weather for one of them weirdos, I guess. I've been looking, chemtrails and all that, chemtrails, whatever you believe. I've been ever since the shutdown, the skies have been, after about 2 days, the skies have been just like this every day. It's like real clouds. You can look up there and see real clouds. You can see blue skies. I know Trump fired a whole lot of the EPA and stuff. I just wonder, are they going to bring back the spraying?
So you think they're not chemtrailing? You think they're not chemtrailing us now?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, at least in my area, I'm in Murfreesboro. And I haven't seen any chemtrails after about 2 days of the shutdown. My daughter brought it up to me. She said, "Hey, Dad, they're not spraying anymore." I said, "Well, the shutdown." And about that time, I seen a couple of planes fly by and was leaving a pretty good trail. I said, "Well, no," I said, "they're still up there." But ever since then, I've been really watching it. And it's like I'm watching the plane right now. It's way up there, and there's nothing coming out the back of it.
All right, wait a minute. Hold on. I'm Googling this. I'm AI-ing this thing. Okay. I just typed in, are chemtrails considered an essential government function? Oh, well, see, I'm getting this hooey about chemtrails don't really exist. See, that's all filtered
Yeah,
through
you will. You'll see all kind of crap on there. It depends on where you're looking, who you're listening to. But anyways, all you got to do is look with your eyes and see, But I've been looking at it for about 6 or 8 years now, and I tell you what, it's a real thing, and it's just too much evidence. They've admitted to doing it anyways.
Well, but here's the deal. I mean, here's the deal, Scott. Have you noticed any drawback to the government being shut down? I mean, I'm not saying that some won't notice a difference, but here's what I tell people every time this happens. The people that are screaming and yelling about government contracts and defense contracts and this and that, the other thing, the government is not, nor should it ever be considered a jobs program. The government doesn't owe you a job.
That's right. Yeah. I drive a school bus in Rutherford County. And it'd be a great job if it wasn't for the kids. It would just be like driving down the road. But that's the only rub,
Yeah, you got to put up with the children. Do y'all do a
elementary?
Do you get to decide how you run the discipline on the bus?
Oh, I wish. I wish I could give them that Medea talk. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But you can't do that. You can't really do anything, say anything too much out of the way. You'll get a talking to.
Do you do?
We're subcontracted.
Well, I remember back in the day, we would have some bus drivers over the years that would do assigned seating. Did you do that? Any of that?
It's so hard. It's so hard to keep up with that. Especially they're just so wired up. It's hard. It's hard for me to do that. Keeping up with the names of them and everything, many of them.
Right. Well, God bless you. You're doing God's work out there driving a school bus, Scott.
Well, yeah, I worked in the cement business down in Nashville for 28 years, and I left that to be a bus driver for some reason. I don't know what I was thinking.
Well, they got cement for heads.
Yeah.
Cement for brains.
Anyways,
well, Scott, thank you for the telephone call. Look me up, Scott, and tell me what you think. Tell me how fluffy you think I am. I got a little fluff. I'm not the fluffiest one on the show.
Yeah, I got enough fluff to fill a Build-A-Bear workshop. Let's move on. Go to break.
You know, it was once said, do all the good you can by all the means you can in all the ways you can in all the places you can at all the times you can to all the people you can for as long as you can. That's a pretty cool quote. Aaron Stokes has reminded us of that quote because that's what he's been trying to do for over a quarter century. Friends, it's Matt Murphy for Eurofix. Eurofix replaces European, or repairs, I should say, European vehicles at below dealer pricing. But what sets Eurofix apart isn't just the price, it's a deep commitment to quality that keeps you off the tow truck. Eurofix has clean and welcoming shops where you can actually sit down, plus they have a free 15-minute no-wrench inspection to share with you what's really going on. At Eurofix, you get a 3-year, 36,000-mile nationwide warranty on all repair work. Rental cars available with appointment. 5 locations: Nashville, Franklin, Murfreesboro, Belmead, and Mount Juliet. 844-EUROFIX or online at myEurofix.com. Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for Grace Point Healthcare. Affordable, convenient, and comprehensive medicine delivered the old-fashioned way. Have you met up with Grace Point yet? I encourage you to do so. They're right in Franklin, convenient to anywhere within the sound of my voice, and well worth the drive. Friends, I know it might be a little bit further out of your way if you live out in the suburbs, but it is worth it because of the direct pay format. The fact that you can sit down with a doctor, trust what they're telling you, understand that they're trying to get to the root cause of any given issue. They're not trying to get you on drugs because the pharmaceutical companies want them to. They're not doing what the insurance company demands of them because that's not the way they do their business. It really is an old school way of doing medical care in an old school type doctor's office with the most modern techniques available to them, which is why we say it's modern medicine deliver the old-fashioned way. 599-6868. Ask about the basic Smart Care plan, $99 a month for adults and $79 a month for kids, and you get unlimited office visits throughout the course of the year. 599-6868. Grace Point Healthcare. You can afford exceptional medicine at your convenience.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. Right now in Middle Tennessee, the painstakingly slow process of looking for clues to determine the cause of Friday's explosion at Accurate Energetic Systems continues. Meanwhile, Humphreys County Sheriff Chris Davis and Hickman County Sheriff Jason Kraft earlier today announced the names of the 16 people they say died in the blast.
Jason Adams,
Eric Anderson,
Billy Baker,
Adam Boatman,
Christopher Clark,
Mindy Clifton,
James Cook,
Rena Gillingham,
Letitia Mays,
Jeremy Moore,
Melinda Rainey,
Melissa Stanford,
Trenton Stewart,
Rachel Woodall,
Stephen Wright,
and Donald Yule.
And again, the investigation is, as Sheriff Chris Davis put it, at a snail's pace, but a lot of that is due to the risk of more explosions. Here in Nashville, the Titans expected to name Mike McCoy as the interim head coach following the firing of Brian Callahan today. McCoy, currently the team's senior offensive assistant, brings over 2 decades of NFL coaching experience, including a stint as head coach of the Chargers. Now, while the front office hasn't made an official announcement yet, multiple reports suggest McCoy is the front-runner to lead the Titans through the remainder of the season. And Brother Jackson just informed me that the Titans will be holding a press conference at 7 o'clock tonight.
This is a special report from ABC News. I'm Michelle Franzen. A day of peace in the Middle East. Celebrations in both Israel and Gaza. 20 remaining hostages held for more than 2 years, reunited with families in Israel. ABC's Marcus Moore is in Tel Aviv.
We understand that the hostages who've been released today will go to a military base where they will also meet with family there and also undergo those medical checks. And several hospital beds have been prepared at several different locations, 3 different locations in Tel Aviv, if those beds are needed.
Only 4 of the bodies of 28 hostages killed in Gaza will return today, families demanding that their remains be located. Hundreds of Palestinians also released as part of the exchange, returning to Gaza and the West Bank. President Trump credited with the U.S. peace plan, receiving accolades in both Israel and Egypt, where he signed the agreement declaring the war in Gaza is over. This is ABC News.
Right now in our nation's capital, the government shut down in its 3rd week, and House Speaker Mike Johnson says there's nothing he can do about it.
We have to fix health care in America, and we have ideas to do it. But we have to have government open and operating to do that. I cannot snap my fingers and go in a back room with Chuck Schumer and say, oh, here's the magic fix for it. It's not how it's going to work.
Well, we're understanding the Senate scheduled to vote again tomorrow. Back here in Nashville, a 19-year-old motorcyclist has died after a high-speed crash late last night on I-40 near White Bridge Pike. Police say the rider lost control and was thrown from the motorcycle. He had just received his license on Thursday. No signs of impairment. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, over on the East Bank going eastbound. Got a crash off on the shoulder there at Shelby Avenue. In Jolton, the on-ramp is partially blocked by a crash. 24 westbound from Whites Creek Pike. In Glencliff, right lane blocked by a crash. 40 eastbound past Spence Lane. Talbot's Corner, an accident. Right lane blocked. 65 southbound just past Trinity Lane. In Fairview, a crash. 840 westbound at Pinewood Road. That's exit 14. Goodlettsville, a crash. 65 northbound at Long Hollow Pike. 2 crashes on 24 westbound in Clarksville. One is at exit 4, Wilma Rudolph Boulevard. The other one right before you go over into Kentucky. I'm Ken Weaver.
If you're just joining us on the radio show, I got called Fluffy earlier today. and now people are complimenting me on the super text line, which is very nice. Like this one, 7014 says, I think Matt Murphy is a handsome, handsome man, and I think Ken Weaver's even more handsome because he's bald-headed. I love bald-headed men. Well, listen, if you love bald-headed men, this is the radio station for you.
I'm not bald, though. I just shaved my head.
Well, I mean, I get it, Ken, but just take the compliment where it comes from. I mean, if she thinks that way, or he, I don't know.
I think somebody trolling us.
Well, I mean, I had to assume that they were trying to say Ken Weaver. It actually says, can we wear? So if I read it as it was written, it says, I think Matt Murphy's a handsome, handsome man, and can we wear is even more handsome because he's bald-headed. I'm assuming they're talking about you. I bet that person loves the morning show. You know what I mean? Oh, no. I mean, we're the right show for you. If you like fluffy, bald-headed people, come on in. The water's fine. I would not suggest that our next guest is either fluffy or bald-headed. I don't think he's either one of those, but he's a great representative. We haven't talked to him in a little bit. We wanted to discuss the shutdown with him as it stands today and what we can expect. Obviously, the House of Representatives has already done their job. We're waiting on the Senate to do theirs. He is Representative Scott Desjardins, and he joins us back on the Matt Murphy Radio Show. Scott, good afternoon. Welcome.
Welcome. Well, definitely I'm bald-headed. I don't know about fluffy, but I can try.
Well, I mean, I take fluffy as a compliment. I used to be worse than fluffy, but one way or the other, I don't think you're fluffy at all, Scott. I think you're a good man, and I think you're doing great work up in the House of Representatives. And obviously, the House has done their job. Give us a sense of where we are on this shutdown. Votes happening tomorrow in the Senate, I understand.
Yeah, they're going to vote again. I don't really get what the stalemate's all about. I mean, I know that the Democrats think they're winning with this health care issue, but what's ironic about it was, this was their thing. They put this in the Inflation Reduction Act as a temporary measure set to expire in 2025. They knew in 2022 that they could extend it if they wanted to, but I talked to Brett Guthrie, who's from Kentucky, chair of the Energy and Commerce, and he said they had all intentions in using that money when it expired for some of their other priorities, Green New Deal, whatever, you name it. And so now they're just taking advantage of the moment and saying that Republicans want to double everyone's health care. And I don't know, has your health care gone down in the last 4 years, either one of you?
Nope.
Nope. You're like mine. Mine's doubled. And,
nope.
And everyone I talk to, their health care has doubled. And so the people who are getting these subsidies or tax breaks, and I'm grateful that they were able to get them, but they knew that it was a temporary measure and they were set to expire, and now they're going to go back to paying what they were. We're not like doubling people's health insurance. I wish I could go back to where mine was, and you probably do too. But, that's what they're hanging their hat on right now, is they think they're winning this messaging because, people think that Republicans don't care about health care. And Obamacare had a flaw from the very get-go. There was about 6% that were above the below and below the upper, to borrow a Joe D. Messina line. And, they couldn't get cheap health insurance. And so we've still been needing to have a fix for that. But this is a whole different ballgame. And so people are going to go back to paying, what their premiums were. And there's like student loans were suspended during COVID, and you just had to pay interest only. And afterwards, you had to go back to paying it. So I think it's a losing issue for them, but they're going to continue to drag it out because for some reason they think trying to add a bunch of spending in this CR is somehow a winner for them, but they seem content with dragging it out for now.
I want to delve into a few of the particulars that you just mentioned, but, it compels me to ask, what's your assessment of how long, the Republicans are holding together, and I'm thankful for that. I do not believe that it's their closure. It's not their shutdown. The Republicans would like to get back to the work of passing individual budgets, 12 separate appropriation bills. That's what I was told the big, beautiful bill would get us to. One of the reasons, and I was not a fan of the BBB because I didn't believe it cut enough, but I am a fan of yours, and I'm a fan of the other Republicans up there, Scott, that told me to a man or a woman, hey, this is just the beginning of what we're trying to do. We're trying to get back to regular appropriations. We're trying to get back to cutting, in a way that's going to see a true reduction in the amount of debt. I know that the Republicans are trying to do that. With that in mind, are y'all hanging together, and do you believe that this group will hold the line when it comes to Democratic demands?
Oh, I think we absolutely will. There's a few that are, Marjorie Taylor Greene is saying, come on, the GOP is holding this up. So there's a few people breaking a little bit, but no, I think we're on the right side of this issue. As you said, this goes till November 20th, and I don't like continuing resolutions, but it was a clean CR, something the Democrats passed either 11 or 13 times under Biden, same thing, wanted us to vote for it, and it makes no sense that we're still stuck in the mud on this. But I have a little bit of issue with these non-essential employees. And I get that there are some people who work as contractors, say, for Arnold Air Force Base and whatnot, that could be part of this RIF or cut. But I don't have any non-essential employees in my office. I didn't have them in my medical office. I doubt at the radio station you have non-essential employees that you're paying just out of the goodness of your heart. So if there's a lot of dead wood that's in Washington, and we know there probably is, This gives Trump an opportunity to clean some of that out, and that'll cut cost and create savings. And then we got to remember that it's hard to cut spending until you increase revenue, and that's Trump's whole plan, is to bring manufacturing back, to get people back to work, and generate more tax revenue, and make America what it once was, a nation of exporters, not just importers and spenders. And so you got to give his plan a chance. And so, yeah, we did a CR till November 20th. We're going to go through the same fight. We could be negotiating some of this healthcare stuff with the Democrats right now if they would come to the table. But right now, everyone just got their backs to each other. And I think, we still spend money even in a shutdown. There's 85% of the government is on autopilot. It's mandatory spending. So even when the government shut down, we're still going into debt, which is a shame. And, these people that are furloughed, that are non-essential, will get paid for doing nothing. And so it's frustrating that we have a shutdown at all. They never seem to do anything other than just cost money and put us further back than we were.
Is it possible that the CR gets pushed back from the November 20th deadline, considering the amount of time that it's taking us to get to the CR? Does that make sense?
Without question, because, the appropriators are still working on appropriation bills, and, I'm still working on defense issues. We're still working on Golden Dome. We're still doing things. But as far as legislating, right now, with the Senate being obstinate, anything we pass out of the House, if we stick together as Republicans and pass a bill out of the House, they still can't get 60 votes in the Senate for it. So as far as us not passing any bills right now, unless it's under reconciliation where we only need 50 votes, it's probably not going to be anything meaningful. So as long as we continue to do our work and negotiate, not being in session is not the worst thing in the world. Trump can do a lot of things under executive orders. He's had a hell of a day today, and I'm sure we're going to talk about that in a minute too. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the shutdown right now, we have a call with the Speaker tomorrow morning at 10. I guess he's going to lay out the strategy, but the Republicans are holding tight. We're on the right side of this issue, and in the end, the Democrats are going to have to admit that their little healthcare ploy or whatever it is, their spending ploy, was wrong, and they're going to have to, just come out of this closet or a blind alley. You're old enough to watch Animal House, where they led the band into the blind alley,
right?
And that's kind of where they're at right now. They're in the blind alley, and they're going to have to come out.
Right. Be calm, all is well. Yeah, no, I remember it. So, for me, two things. One follow up, and then I want to share one message from a listener and get your thoughts. The issue on healthcare. That issue is an expiration at the end of the year, right? It has nothing to do with the continuing resolution. Am I right?
No, it's sunset. This was Biden's deal. This was the Democrats' deal. They
right.
put it in the Inflation Reduction Act. I don't know why they did 5 years, why they picked it. But after COVID was over, the Democrats were still in power, had all three chambers. They could have extended it. They could have made it permanent, but they had no intention of doing so. That I think if you left it in place, it's going to cost almost like $400 billion over 10 years. Well, they wanted to take that money and shift it into some of their other priorities. So had they not decided to glom onto this as their messaging point, they already had plans for that money. They didn't think Trump would be back in the White House, and so they didn't worry about it. And they had no intentions of extending these tax breaks that were put in place during COVID to help people out during a rough time. It was set to expire. They knew it was set to expire, and they didn't do anything about it.
Well, and the rest of it, and Congressman Scott DeSharlet, our guest, the rest of it, Scott, to me, is the Democrat Party holding the American people hostage against the results of the 2024 election. Because if I look at the big, beautiful bill as a direct result of the 2024 election, most of their demands have to do with what was passed in the BBB. They want to return funding to the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and these sorts of things.
Right. There's $1.5 trillion that they're wanting to claw back from the big, beautiful bill at things that, when they were in power, they were spending that money. When we took over, we clawed that back because we didn't think we needed to have NPR and PBS as another mouthpiece for the Democratic Party. I mean, it was proven NPR had 87 employees that were all Democrats, and they had to admit it, and they were embarrassed about it, and so on and so forth. We know the story. But, yeah, they're trying to reinstate what we took away in terms of cutting spending, and that's just not the way it works. I mean, I'm sure that's what they want, but that's not what they're going to get.
One thought from you to comment on two texts that I've received regarding this conversation, and then I do want to move on to the Middle East peace accord. One, 1586, I don't have a name, just a number, says, our house has seen real impact from the shutdown. Military salary has stopped completely. We're getting to panic level. We have to really stretch just to get gas and groceries, let alone bills that don't stop. And then 2565 says, I don't miss the government being closed. However, I would like for my active duty son to get paid in 2 days. What's your response to those two texts?
Well, my active duty son, who's in Miramar learning to fly C-130s, he's a Marine pilot. He'd like to get paid as well, and you know, not to make it personal, but I get it. And Trump has arranged for money that is in the Department of Defense to pay the troops on the 15th. That's when their next paycheck's due. So they're going to get paid on the 15th. Now, if we stretch to the 30th, another payday, we'll have to come up with another fix. We can pass a bill, and we probably will if we have to make sure that we pay our military during a shutdown. I think we did that in 2013. And so there's bills just waiting to be passed to do that. But for this next pay period on the 15th, the troops will get their pay. We've got money lined up to do that, and totally understand. It's one of those things when you're living paycheck to paycheck, and we underpay a lot of our military. They need that money, and they're going to get it on the 15th, and we'll find a way to make sure they get it on the 30th.
Scott Desjardins is our guest, joining us on the Murphy Show hotline to not only discuss the shutdown, but also this incredible peace accord that has now been signed by the president and all the parties present there in Egypt. Scott, your thoughts?
Well, I'm telling you, that's what peace through strength looks like. That's what swagger looks like. If you watched any of that with Trump today, the other leaders, I think they invited 35 countries, and they all showed up. It's I've never seen anything like it. And any of them that were sitting there with Trump, they were just like giddy and in awe of the guy. And what he did with the bombing raid on Iran was such a psychological strike. What he's done to degrade and eliminate Iran's proxies in terms of Hamas or Hezbollah or the Houthis. When Bibi or Netanyahu got out of line and bombed Qatar, he said, hey, you got to get on the phone and apologize. That was wrong. And, I mean, he's leading. He's not just leading America. He's leading the world, and they're following. And what I saw today was nothing short of remarkable. I mean, that's a boss move. That's Trump being Trump. And I mean, the people are falling in line to make this happen. And whether it will last, the Middle East has been fickle and at war off and on forever, as long as you and I can remember, and throughout history. But this feels different. This has a different feel. Hamas has been degraded to the point that I don't think they can really exist anymore. Iran doesn't have any juice. They got bombed into oblivion by Israel, and then we took out whether we obliterated their nuclear program or not, we showed them that we can do it. We showed China and Russia we can do it. It was an incredible mission, and I know they took note. So I'm just so impressed with what he did. And I think I can count on one finger the time the liberal media has praised Trump, and all day long they can't help. MSNBC, CNN, they're saying good things about Trump. Ilhan Omar, I mean, you name it. They're praising Trump for what he's done, so it truly is remarkable.
Well, I mean, and the worst thing, and we've had a couple of listeners say this, Scott, I think the worst thing that you could say is, well, I don't think that this will hold. But even if you suggest that, and I understand the tenuous nature of it, and I understand, there's some faith-based beliefs that there will always be conflict in the Middle East. I get all of that, too. And my response to those few callers that we've had today that have suggested that has been the same. And that is, well, we have peace today. That's all I can tell you is that we don't have people dying today, and we have the hostages back home, which is something.
Yeah, it was remarkable to see the hostages reunited. I've, talked to several of the hostages that were held not as long that had been released. I mean, what a horrendous ordeal to go through. But, I mean, who doesn't want peace? We see a world at war in so many places, and everyone has financial issues. And so just to have the momentum moving in the right direction and so many countries engaged and involved and seeming willing to make this work, at least, we're moving the ball in the right direction. Whether it lasts forever or not, I mean, hard to say. The world's never been at peace forever, but right now it's looking pretty good, and we need to set our sights on on doing the same thing in Ukraine and Russia, and maybe this will help be a stepping stone to settling that down. But for now, the Abraham Accords and what he laid the groundwork for back in his first term, and what he's been able to do in this term. I mean, if there was ever a Nobel Peace Prize candidate, it would be Trump. But Obama got one for nothing, and Obama didn't even know. He goes, "What did I do to get this?" What Trump has done today, if that doesn't deserve a Nobel Peace Prize, I don't know what does. But
and did you see the one that they gave out? And I understand that this might have come a little too late, but when it came, the one that won, the lady in Venezuela actually dedicated it to Trump. Which was pretty,
I saw that.
Pretty incredible.
And so people, some people can't stand Trump, and some people walk through a brick wall for Trump, but you can't just deny that he's a strong leader, and he does believe in the peace through strength. He does believe in America first. What he's done on the border is just absolutely incredible. What he did to destroy ISIS in the first few months of his first term was really remarkable, and people always want to pick him apart and criticize him, but he's done some remarkable things as president. And I think historians will look back at him as a very powerful and productive president, and let's hope that his financial plan and his tariffs and all that work out, and we start to see a reversal in the debt structure, and that we generate more revenue. But we elected him with this mandate because we knew the country was on the brink under Biden. Everyone felt bad. The military couldn't recruit. We looked weak on the world stage. And now all of a sudden everything looks positive and optimistic, and I hope this leads us into another 4 or 8 years of conservative leadership that can actually continue what he started. And today, I think, is something that people are going to remember if it holds, and if it goes the way we all want it to. I think the country has a real chance based on things that happened today and what he's trying to do.
Great stuff, as always, from Congressman Scott Desjardins. Scott, have a great day, have a great week, and take care. We'll talk to you again soon.
All right, thank you, Matt.
All right, thank you very much. There's Scott Desjardins joining us for a few good minutes at 25 after the hour on Super Talk. Fearless and fluffy takes today on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Here's a fearless what? Here's a fearless fluffy take. When it comes to large home repairs, who do you call? Well, I would recommend, there's only one that I would recommend, and that's USS. USS comes to your home, and you get a problem solver there. If you've noticed the issues, you're not calling them for nothing, right? You want some sense of awareness of what is happening with your house, and maybe a sense of peace of mind and comfort that everything's going to be okay. And that's exactly what you get from USS. Now, whether you are, concerned about waterproofing your home, maybe there's a musty, moldy smell coming from your basement or your crawl space, perhaps even standing water in your basement or crawl space. If you have a leak, it's not going to go away on its own. It's just going to get worse. Their attitude is simple. That they want to solve the problem in front of them as inexpensively as possible. And for the last 30-plus years, they've been doing just that in and around Middle Tennessee. I encourage you to contact USS. USSTN.com, USSTN.com, or call 615-488-7855, 488-7855 for USS. Problem solvers for over 30 years, and the one that I recommend, USS, United Structural Systems. Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for Defend Systems. Brink Fiddler is the owner of Defend Systems, and he has assembled a team that are experts in their field. What do? They come to your place of business, your school, your church, any place people gather. If you're a decision maker in any of those capacities, I encourage you to talk to your employees and find out from them what they want. And I'll guarantee you what they want. They want Defend Systems to come in and give them the tools necessary to make sure that they are trained in what to do in the unlikely event that you have an emergency situation come up at your place of business, at your school, at your church. We live in a dangerous world, friends. Hope is not and should never be considered a plan. It is time to get trained with our friends at Defend Systems. Allow them to do so today by giving a call to Defend Systems and their team. And let Brink and his team explain to you exactly what you can do to protect yourself and your employees. 615-236-6484. That's 236-6484 or online at defendsystems.com. Once again, defendsystems.com.
.5:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. Right now in Middle Tennessee. The process to determine the cause of Friday's Accurate Energetic Systems explosion is a foot-by-foot process. This is for the safety of investigators and to avoid any mistakes in identifying remains of the 16 victims. Humphreys County Sheriff Chris Davis today released those names. He said they're mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, friends, and neighbors.
That's the name of our 16 souls that we're still trying to take care of and their families.
Investigation could take months to complete. The Tennessee Titans have officially named Mike McCoy as interim head coach following the firing of Brian Callahan today. McCoy, a longtime NFL veteran and former Chargers head coach, steps in with over 25 years of experience. He'll lead the Titans into Week 7 as they look to turn things around after a rough 1-5 start. Titans have scheduled a press conference for 7 o'clock tonight.
This is a special report from ABC News. I'm Michelle Franzen. Emotional reunions as 20 surviving hostages released after more than 2 years in captivity in Gaza return to their families in Israel. Celebrations also mixed with a continued push for all hostages who died in Gaza to be returned. 4 caskets returning today with the remains of 24 others still not found. After addressing lawmakers in Israel, President Trump went to Egypt for a summit with Arab, Muslim, and European leaders, signing and holding up a peace plan, he says, declaring it's a new day for Gaza and the Middle East.
After years of suffering and bloodshed, the war in Gaza is over. Humanitarian aid is now pouring in, including hundreds of truckloads of food, medical equipment, and other supplies, much of it paid for by people in this room.
The fighting between Gaza and Israeli forces has stopped for now, but one IDF source telling ABC News Hamas may be trying to regroup. This is ABC News.
That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, we've got 2 crashes on 24 in Clarksville. Both of them are westbound. The first one's at exit 4, the second one exit 1 as you're westbound there. Now, Madison, right lane blocked by a crash, 65 northbound at Old Hickory Boulevard. Jolton, a crash, on-ramp partially blocked, 24 westbound from Whites Creek Pike. In Cheatham County, got a crash. This is a vehicle versus deer off on the right shoulder, 40 eastbound near the Cheatham-Williamson County line. Back here in downtown Nashville, we got 65 northbound past Rosa Parks Boulevard. Talbot's Corner, an accident. Right lane blocked, 65 southbound past Trinity Lane. South Nashville, right shoulder blocked by a crash, 24 eastbound at Murfreesboro Pike. In Williamson County, got debris in the right lane, 840 westbound before Pinewood Road, exit 14. I'm Ken Weaver.
How do you up that food game? Well, you can do it in a number of different ways. You can get a better cut of meat at the market. You know, and oftentimes you get to a point where you're not looking for the least expensive piece of meat, whether it's, salmon or steak or whatever. We were talking about that earlier. You kind of you up the food game. Well, you can also up your food game when it comes to your spice game, and that's what I'm here to tell you about. Savory Spices in Franklin. They're located just down the road, and friends, they have great pricing. They have great selection. They have great people, knowledgeable people. I mean, believe it or not, you can walk into their shop and you can talk to them about food and they can understand it. And they can direct you where you need to go. And for the fall, I mean, obviously, pumpkin spice and cinnamon and nutmeg. I mean, these are the flavors of fall, and it's time to get stocked up for holiday cooking. That's Savory Spice. So whether you're just getting started in the kitchen and you want to get that spice rack nice and flushed out, or if you know exactly what you're doing and know exactly what you need, they're your go-to source for all things spices in this community. Salts and seasonings and spices and everything international, and all those exotic flavors can be found at the one and only Savory Spice. Go by and see them. Tell them Matt Murphy sent you. Holly and David are the local owners, and I appreciate them so much. Savory Spice. Up that food game, upping the spice game. Up that spice game at Savory. Hi, friends. It's Matt Murphy for Efficient Heating and Cooling. I certainly hope that a qualified technician or Jeff Eddy himself have come to your home already from Efficient Heating and Cooling to give you a full maintenance review of your heating system, because the time has come. Now, obviously, they've got time for you, and there's still plenty of time for you to do this. It's early in the season. You might not have turned that thing on yet. If you haven't, get with the program first. Get with Efficient Heating and Cooling and allow them to review your system to make sure that everything's running as it should and everything's A-okay. That's what it's all about, right? Getting the maximum life out of that unit that probably costs you a lot of money when you put it in. It does not have, it does not have an unlimited life cycle, right? At some point, it's going to go kaplooey. Well, you want to maximize the amount of time before that kaplooey happens. And when it does, they're here for you to tell you the real deal, the real scoop, and they are an Elite Pro partner with Rheem, so they can recommend a new unit for you. Simply put, you want to maximize it, so let's maintenance it. You maintenance at Efficient Heating and Cooling. 615-784-4424, 784-4424, or online at efficienthvac.net. A lot of head banging going on by there. Ken Weaver's doing a little head banging.
I know this band. Well, I thought I knew this band.
It's a Ghost. Megatron. I don't know who it is.
It's what is the name of that band?
They're royalty, Ken.
I tried to get into thrash.
B-52s.
No.
I
like royalty is actually in the name.
Lobster. I know that. I know.
Fella heard he sings like this.
Yeah. Oh, he almost sings like your boy jazz.
Oh yes, my little chickadee. Yeah.
Tin roof, rusted.
Oh yeah.
Love shack and a lime. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Rock and lobster. I'm ready to go home.
I am too, man.
I am ready to go home.
Oh, I've been ready all day.
I can't go home, though. Jason Weekly's coming by at 6 o'clock. We will talk local politics. What with the... What? Why are you shaking your head like that?
I'm just messing with you.
Jason Weekly coming by, talking local politics at about 6. I see you're shaking your head again. It's very confusing. 6:05 or so. He's with the Davidson County GOP, and we told y'all this was coming. What has the question on our lips in the 6 o'clock hour? What has Freddie O'Connell accomplished in his first 2 years as mayor? What has Freddie O'Connell accomplished? We're getting to nincompoops up next. Andy's been holding, though, and I don't want him to hold any longer, so we give Andy a little bit of time. Hey, Andy.
It's Angie.
Well, Angie, I apologize. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. What's on your mind?
First of all, I want to say I love Super Talk Radio. I love all you guys. I love the producers. I love Ken Weaver. I just love listening to y'all every day, all day long.
Thank you.
Thank you, Angie.
Number two, I was the one that sent the text in that didn't make any sense.
Wait, what text was that? I didn't.
The one about the handsome guy, and then I meant to say Ken Weaver, the bald guy, and it said something I can't read.
Oh no, I got it, Angie. I got it. I was just messing around. I figured it out. Yeah, it must have done an autocorrect on you while you were driving.
Yeah, well, it doesn't obviously understand my Southern slang talk or my Citrus County native talk, so maybe that's why it doesn't understand much how I speak. But I love you guys, and yes, you are so handsome. Ken Weaver's handsome.
Oh, thank you, Angie.
Very sweet.
No fuss about it. You guys are cool.
Well, thank you, Angie. That's pretty cool.
You all have a great day.
Wow, I mean that's it, man. If I got 20 or more calls about that a day, I'd feel pretty good about myself.
So Angie and Bonnie, they can call anytime they want. Right,
anytime that's exactly right, Ken Weir. I'm all in on that. What about you there, Jackson?
Yeah, sure.
I feel like you were in a mood. You were in a great mood, and now you're not
I'm
in
just
a good mood
knee-deep
anymore.
in Brian Callahan news.
You got something new?
Got something new. His dad is going with him. Offensive line coach Bill Callahan.
You don't update this thing without doing the damn updates theme.
I don't have the update music pulled up because we got nincompoops.
No, do the update. I'll make you the nincompoop.
Welcome to another.
Wait, hold on, I'll do it. It's time for another Super Talk 99.7 WTN Sports Report with our intrepid sportsman, Action Jackson Williams.
Titans lose not one Callahan, but two. Offensive line coach Bill Callahan following his son leaving the Tennessee Titans. Expected, but official.
But he's doing such a good job with that offensive line.
Yes, Cam Ward is the second most sacked rookie quarterback in NFL history through 6 games.
I had it on good authority that he was magic on the O-line.
He was not magic, although it's
Black
hard
magic.
to ask somebody make chicken salad out of chicken you-know-what.
Oh, so now we're forgiving the Callahans for their poor job? Huh.
I don't blame them wholeheartedly. They had an uphill battle, and they did I have no doubt that they did their best. Their best was just.
You have TDS, Titans Derangement Syndrome.
I got something.
Brother Jackson's a lifelong fan.
Yeah, I'm like the first era that grew up with the Titans.
I mean, yeah, when you were in your childhood, you were two-tone blue.
Yeah.
From the moment you stopped pooping your diaper, which was, it's my understanding, a couple of years ago, you've been two-tone blue since.
I hate you. That is false.
Just hit the music. I say false things every once in a while. Keep everybody on their toes.
Nincompoops in the news.
1047 wants to make sure that everybody knows that Jackson is handsome, too.
Now, Brother Jackson is a handsome young man.
Brother Jackson is a good-looking young lad. We need to get him hitched, Ken.
Well, he's got a brand new haircut.
I know. His hair's looking good.
Well, if y'all set me up, it's probably a date at the old folks' home.
All right, to hell with you. We won't get you hit. Fine. Remain single. That's fine, too. Who won Friday? I think it was me. I think it was me.
One of these days, I want to be the first to do that.
What?
I want to be the first to say, who won
I think it was
yesterday?
me.
I think it was me.
Wait, Matt, we have a disagreement, so it always goes back to Ken.
Wait, you think it was you and I think it was
Yeah.
me? And neither of us are really that sure, right?
If you can tell me your story from Friday, I'll let you win.
I know it wasn't mine.
I can't tell you what I talked about 5 minutes ago, man.
Me neither.
Ken Weaver,
Yes, sir.
you get to go first because Jackson and I have a dispute.
All right. I've got an update here to a story that I think one of you boys did on a previous Nincompoops. But apparently the restaurant employee who posted videos of himself doing things to food with his stuff has apparently...
What kind of things was he doing, Ken?
Easy.
Let's just say he was seasoning it.
Oh, God.
Oh, that
Was he
Apparently,
that was worse than I thought it was going to be.
yeah.
He was not using savory spice.
Yeah, no, he was not by any means using savory spice. By any means. I'm going to try to do this without getting us in trouble.
All right, let's get out of Ken's way there, Jackson. If somebody's going, we're the guy that the one guy starts talking about racial stuff on TV and all the other guys just start sliding out of the shot.
I just put him only on camera.
Yeah,
you go ahead, Ken.
Go ahead, Ken.
Thank you, boys. All right, this out of Leawood, Kansas. A restaurant employee imprisoned for posting videos of himself, relieving himself, and then rubbing food on himself before it was served to customers. According to reporting from local outlet KMBC, 22-year-old Jace Christian Hansen was arrested in June of 2024 after federal investigators were notified he had posted videos online showing himself committing crimes at the Hereford House, a restaurant where he worked, probably a steak joint. The videos showed Hansen urinating and rubbing himself on food that was going to be served to customers. Other videos discovered by authorities showed Hansen rubbing his buttocks and feet on food as well. Hansen uploaded the videos online under the username Vandalizer. Hansen allegedly confessed to more than 20 instances of contaminating food in one way or another, including what I just mentioned. Here's the deal, man. It went out to customers. The Johnson County Post reported that further investigation... I know. Stop. I got to finish it.
I mean, there's so many. Yeah, get through this.
The Johnson County Post reported that further investigation into the suspect uncovered videos depicting a lot worse, okay? So,
What? Worse?
It involves children.
Well, this isn't fun anymore.
Yeah, that just turned a corner. I mean, it's all well and good when people are just eating their steak and it tastes so good, but yeah.
He pled guilty to all 33 charges against him, including 22 counts of criminal threat, 1 count of criminal damage, and 10 counts of sexual exploitation of a child. He was sentenced to the max available in the state of Kansas, which we might have to say is the nincompoop here. 136 months in prison.
What? That's it?
That's it. And that's the max.
136. That's over 10 years. That's not enough for whatever he did, but my goodness. Sir, for the last time, this is a steakhouse, not a snake house.
Yes, sir. It's called the Hereford House. I
bet
guarantee
it's a
there's
steakhouse. I bet it's got to be a steakhouse.
All right.
Oh, are you going next?
Yes.
Have you declared it?
I just figured I'd jump in and take it.
Yeah, you might as well get this ball rolling.
Ex-employee busted for bizarre battery at Tampa area strip club. A former strip club employee has been arrested for a drive-by outside the Florida establishment. Actually, it was not a drive-by shooting. It was a more of a drive-by cheeseburgering Investigators allege that Jordan Cotto, 26, showed up Friday night to Atlantis Gentlemen's Club to speak with management, but got into a verbal argument. During the dispute, Cotto grabbed a cheeseburger from his vehicle and threw the delicacy, striking a male victim on the shoulder and causing him bodily harm. The man, however, was not seriously injured by the beef cheese projectile. Questioned by police, Cotto reportedly confessed to the crime and showed no remorse for the incident. The defendant stated he did throw a cheeseburger from his vehicle and said he would do it again.
Yikes.
No weapon was seized, police reported. Pictured at right, Cotto was arrested for battery, a misdemeanor, and booked into the county jail.
Well, there you go.
That's a waste of good cheeseburger.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a horrible waste of the cheeseburger.
I wonder what kind of cheeseburger.
He's good, by the way. He's our next guest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hello. How are you?
Yeah.
Good to meet you.
Oh, Bart, Jack, there you go.
Just figured I'd do an on-air introduction.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Jason Weekly coming in with the Davidson County GOP. All right. So mine is a little bit different.
All right.
I do not watch 911. Do y'all watch this 911 show?
Oh, my gosh. I know what you're going to talk about, and I feel the same way. Go ahead.
I've not seen it.
I've not either. Brother Jackson loves it.
But let me tell you something. There are people that have seen it. We have the 911 show.
Oh, I've seen 911. I've seen both.
Erica loves this thing.
I do as well.
Erica
so let's get into
this thing, right? And I have seen some of the reviews. Did you see the first episode?
I watched both 911 and 911 Nashville last Thursday night.
Nobody seems to care for this show. Number one,
I enjoyed it.
People are saying the accents are awful.
They all talking like this.
Everybody talk like this.
Okay,
everybody in Nashville talk like this. Don't
here's
y'all
the thing.
know?
Here's the thing. I watched 911 Lone Star, the last spinoff that they did that ran on Fox.
Uh-huh.
And that one was set in Texas.
Uh-huh.
So I am immune to the really crappy accents.
Uh-huh.
So that one didn't bother me as much because they gave Rob Lowe an accent and, you know.
Hey, has Rob Lowe ever worked at the Hereford Steakhouse?
What?
Never mind.
What did he do?
Rob Lowe was caught having relations with a girl that was almost a minor on video.
Oh, yeah, I remember that from his roast.
Well, let me give you some of the reviews of 911 Nashville, which I'm going to go ahead and say that the makers of 911 Nashville are our nincompoops in the news.
Oh, no.
Erica gave the review that the accents are horrible, that not everyone in Nashville talks like this, and not everyone in the South calls tornadoes, "It's a twister."
Here's my thing.
Everyone that was referring to some fire tornado that was a part of the show, sorry, spoiler alert.
There's no fire tornado.
I don't know.
Wait, Matt.
It's a fire tornado in the
we can debate
promos.
this. So, the kite thing was stupid. If that was a part of it. Have either of you seen the kite thing?
I have not.
A young child was swept up by a kite in a wind gust and was like 50 feet in the air.
Okay.
And like that's the whole thing.
That's not real.
That's an emergency.
No.
I will say, a lot of times with these shows, because I've watched all three at this point, the first couple of episodes are terrible.
Can I get to the review? You won't let me get to the reviews.
I'm giving my
defending it.
review.
Are they paying you to defend it?
No, I just enjoy the show.
Oh, do you now?
I enjoy the regular show. I don't know about Nashville yet.
You know what? I'm going to stop giving you good movies to watch because you enjoy slop.
That is true. I do enjoy guilty pleasures.
Mm-hmm. Kelly writes in and says, I wanted to like this show. Truly, the premise had potential. The cast looked promising. But Nashville 911 is, unfortunately, an absolute mess. Acting, forced and hollow. Dialogue, flat. Storyline, ridiculous, doesn't even begin to cover it. Here's another one.
That's fair.
SI writes, I spent 29 years as a professional firefighter. Does he really need to go any further?
If you work in EMS profession, you shouldn't watch this show. All it will do is make you angry.
Watch this show. It's the worst. This is good. This is the worst thing I have ever seen.
I've seen much worse.
Let's see. Super writes in, I'm a big fan of the original 911 and Lone Star. So I was excited for Nashville. I watched the pilot and will not be watching anymore. Man.
Didn't even get through the pilot.
No, with the exception of Corporal Hart, the characters are either weak, whiny brats, conniving, entitled jackanaps,
Captain.
or jackanaps, they called them. I don't know.
I'm going to use that.
Or wooden, uninteresting douches.
Ooh.
Oh, careful now.
Goodness.
Okay, I hope you're not trying to run for public office. You calling people douchebags.
That was a good one, man. That was good.
Thank you. You better watch that. Somebody will find that on you. Let's see. Pakula writes in. First of all, let me start by saying I love the first 911 TV show. A lot of reviews that are one-star reviews start with that.
Yeah.
Are you just reading user reviews?
Yes.
Oh, that doesn't count.
It does count. I was
They're
disappointed
mad because Lone Star got canceled.
Horrible, 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 horrible. Acting horrible. Just horrible. That's an actual line from an actual review.
So there are a lot of that fan base that are really mad about Lone Star getting canceled for Nashville.
No, I don't think you understand, Jackson. I'm going to read it to you again. I am disappointed. Horrible, 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 horrible. Acting horrible. Just horrible.
Goodness.
That's a lot of horribles.
Just let me like my crap.
You can like
it might be crap, but I like it.
K.I. writes in, the acting's awful. The emergencies are ridiculous. The medical issue's even worse than any other medical show, and that's saying a lot. Most of them just rattle off words they've heard once and think it sounds cool. But this show, it's ridiculous. The personnel storyline is so predictable. I mean, seriously, write something new. Otherwise, why did the Writers Guild ever go on strike? AI might be better. At least I'd know it was written by a robot. So the producers and writers of 911 Nashville are my nincompoops in the
It's going to
news
get
on
better.
Super Talk 99.7 WTO. Well, it can't get any worse, according to these reviews.
I saw where there's going to be a 911 outer space.
Yeah, they're sending one of the main characters of the main show to space. I'm not happy about it.
Hey, y'all, we live in Nashville, and we all wear cowboy hats and boots, and we all go drinking down on Broadway. Shut up.
Which way's the moon?
Watch out for that nader.
There is a tornado in the first episode that is pretty ridiculous.
Is it a fire tornado?
It is not. It is the slowest moving tornado of all time.
There's a nader, mama.
It's like off in the distance, and like 2 days later, it still hadn't reached it.
Oh, jeez. There you go.
Wherever that tornado is, it has wrecked everything in the one spot it sat in for an hour.
It destroyed Ascend Amphitheater, didn't it?
No, it hadn't hit Ascend yet. That's week 2.
Here's how we play. Naked Boobs of the News, Super Talk 99.7 WTO. Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy. Let's talk for a moment about the Wellness Institute of Nashville, my go-to place when it comes to back pain, and I've got a lot of back pain. People say I'm a pain in the neck, but I get pains in the back, and when I do, I go visit Dr. Mitchell, Dr. Ashley, and the rest of the team at the Wellness Institute of Nashville. As a matter of fact, I made the switch to Dr. Mitch and the rest of the team. Why? Because they're so good at what they do. Convenient to my location and convenient to yours, the Wellness Institute of Nashville has my seal of approval, and they have the Big Daddy Trump special. Donald Trump did not give up on the American people, and Dr. Mitchell and Dr. Ashley aren't giving up on you. The Big Daddy Trump special, $12 for a comprehensive examination, x-rays if needed, a well-explained diagnosis, and your first treatment. 615-246-5009, 615-246-5009, or painisbad.com. That's painisbad.com.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. And right now in Middle Tennessee, authorities officially announcing the identities of the 16 people they say died in Friday's accurate energetic systems explosion in McEwen. Channel 4 says some of their families just are not ready to accept what happened.
I was very frustrated. I got very upset. I was mad. I wanted to know, where mom was, why they didn't take the rubble off.
We're just having a problem with understanding how something this major has happened. And we just need some answers.
Humphreys County Sheriff Chris Davis says the investigation continues, but again, at a snail's pace and for good reason. Here's Channel 4's Brendan Tierney.
TBI has been working through the debris using DNA testing to confirm the remains. They can only get to an area after it's been cleared by the bomb squad, and they're having to go sometimes foot by foot or inch by inch. It's a very slow process.
Agencies involved include the ATF, FBI, National Center for Explosives Training and Research. Here in Nashville, the Tennessee Titans have officially named Mike McCoy as interim head coach, stepping in after the firing of Brian Callahan today. The team announcing Callahan's firing after a 1-5 start to the season and a disappointing 4-19 overall. Here's Channel 4's Chris Harris.
Now, the only statement from the team so far comes from President of Operations Chad Brinker. He writes, among other things, while we are committed to a patient and strategic plan to build a sustainable winning football program, we have not demonstrated sufficient growth. There's that word again. The growth has not happened. The young quarterback isn't progressing, and so they made a change.
So Mike McCoy brings a wealth of experience to the role with over 25 years in the NFL, including 4 seasons as head coach of the San Diego Chargers. Phase 1 of the Middle East peace agreement nearing completion.
This is a special report from ABC News. I'm Michelle Franzen. A full day of emotions across Israel as families reunited with 20 surviving hostages held for more than 2 years in Gaza after the Hamas October 7th attacks. The mother of Bar Cooperstein receiving a phone call before his transfer by Hamas to the Red Cross. But other families are still waiting. Just 4 bodies of the 28 hostages killed were returned today. ABC's Ian Pannell is in Hostage Square in Tel Aviv.
They came together, the whole hostage and family movement, and they're still here, still active, still lobbying for the remains of the deceased hostages to be returned. They're upset that only 4 of the bodies will have been released by the end of today, accusing Hamas of reneging on the deal.
President Trump spoke to Israeli lawmakers and then traveled to Egypt for a summit with Arab, Muslim, and European leaders, signing the peace plan that includes, he says, disarming Hamas and rebuilding Gaza. This is ABC News.
That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Over by the airport, got a crash, 40 eastbound at Briley Parkway East. Other than that, I don't see anything else getting in the way. Oh, just a moment. Just popped up here at 840 eastbound in Williamson County. Looks like we got a crash right there at the Paytonsville Trinity Road, exit 34. I'm Ken Weaver.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN, Matt Murphy and you. It's the final hour of our Monday, Columbus Day edition on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. It's also episode 901 of our gatherings together. Thank you for being with us on TuneIn, Spotify, iHeart. Maybe you're listening on 99.7 FM, or perhaps you are listening and watching on Super Talk TV, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Rumble. Thank you. Thank you. A lot of you commenting, giving us the old thumbs up. We appreciate. How many thumbs ups have we gotten today? I don't think it's nearly enough. Only 37 thumbs up. This has been a pretty crappy show. Must be. Only 37 thumbs up. Is that?
I blame you.
That must be that must be a Columbus Day thumbs up anomaly. That's what I'm going to call it. The Columbus Day anomaly. We're always going to refer to it as that, because we always get more thumbs up than that. Anyway, thank you for listening. Thank you for commenting on the super chat line over there. The YouTube chat. We appreciate all of you. Y'all are crazy people. And who's winning nincompoops, by the way, Jackson?
Me.
You're beating the reviews. See, you I'm going to just go ahead and say that we're scrapping the votes for today. And the reason is that you would not be quiet through my nincompoop.
Because you were spreading misinformation.
What do you mean I'm spreading misinformation? Are you suggesting that 911 Nashville is a quality show?
I enjoy it.
So you're not going to make a matter of taste a matter of fact? Good for you. That's one of the Murphy maxims on the radio show. Let's not make a matter of taste a matter of fact. So in your opinion, it's a fine show.
It'll be fine.
Oh, so it's not a fine show.
I think all of these shows have rough first episodes, and I think if people gave it more of a chance, I think it'll turn around.
Are you hopeful that some of the accents calm down?
No, that's something you're going to have to live with. They did it to Rob Lowe. They're going to do it to Robin.
They just think we all talk like that?
Yes.
Well, I'll tell you who doesn't talk like that, Jason Weekly. He's with the Davidson County GOP. He is a quality soul in Davidson County, and we're here to talk about the first 2 years of Mayor Freddie O'Connell and some of the aspects of the property tax that aren't sitting very well with business owners in and around town. It's always good to have Jason in studio with us. What's going on, my friend?
Thank you. Not much. It's been a busy summer.
You're not lonely over there in Conservative Corner in Davidson County, are you?
No, we're actually getting swelling numbers. People
growing?
Yeah. People wanting to come out and help us out. The Trump effect, being reelected has been kind of surging all year. And unfortunately, after Charlie Kirk, people want to get more involved. The younger crowd does. So.
Well, I mean, that's good news. I mean, you know, we hate the way that it has happened, but it's good news if they're getting more involved. No question about it.
Yeah. Yep. YRs are seeing it. CRs are seeing it. And I think we've got, I need to check, but I think we've got a couple of college campuses that have new requests for Turning Point chapters.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Good for them. Good for them. Well, I mean, you first and foremost, outside of fighting Democrats, you kind of have to fight, and I push back on this a little bit too. You fight that's a blue city. Mm-hmm. I give up on that city, right? I mean, you kind of fight back against that regularly because there are a lot of conservative-minded people that live in Davidson County.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we've got on paper, we have 105,000 people that voted for Donald Trump last November. So if all of them showed up in elections in August, we'd be winning some stuff. But yes, it's the mindset's there, and that is probably the biggest catch-22 that I fight against, because it's how do you convince those people to shift their behavior and vote for conservative candidates of any stripe to fight against the leftist agenda that's happening in Metro Council.
I want to talk specifically about the property taxes and some of the ramifications, because you and I, we spoke on this while they were attempting to push this through.
Yep.
And warned the people that this would all be passed along to the end consumer, that all of this would be felt at the end of it, and that you will hear business owners howl, you will hear renters howl, you will hear, obviously, property owners howl. And here we are, and now people are seeing their bills come in. They're getting those October bills that are due in January, and they're not very happy about it. I'm hearing from business owners who say that their property tax liability last year was $550,000, and this year it's almost $1 million.
That's crazy.
And they're not going to absorb that cost. They're going to have to pass it along, something that you and I talked about at the time they were doing this.
And I've talked to a few homeowners, too, like that are elderly, and they've seen 60%. One person told me 90% tax increase, and I just don't know how you do that. I'm looking at 45 myself.
45% increase?
Uh-huh. I live in the general services district, so if you live outside the urban services district, the tax rate was raised even more to be level with the urban services district, which is a signal to me that they're getting ready to get rid of the districts and just tax everybody in Davidson County at the same rate everywhere.
Which is by design to get more money.
Oh, yeah, but we don't get the garbage pickup or the other services that come with being in the urban services district, but we get taxed the same.
So when you hear from the business owners, when you hear from the property owners, when you hear from even the renters, how can they consider this to be a good thing? I guess all that they're looking at the city council level or in the mayor's office is the bottom line.
Well, yeah, I mean, they wanted, I think it was another $300 or $400 million to be added to the budget. And so that's where the 29% tax increase number comes from, because we want to spend this much more money. So we're going to raise your taxes to get there. They could have just not spent
the money.
Any more money. That is our problem. The city council has a spending problem. We have some debt, but we're not like, the federal government that's in trillions and trillions of dollars of debt, like per GDP ratio. We're not in a GDP 100% ratio like the national government is, but we are in a spending problem that's just like federal government.
I think all of this, and Jason Weekly, our guest, he's the chair of the Nashville. Am I saying this right? The Davidson County GOP.
Davidson County Republican Party. We are GOPNashville.org.
There you go.
We have a shorter name for the website.
And y'all go follow them on. They're on the X Machine. They're on all of the publicly available platforms, and you need to follow them and support them. I want to walk through this article that I read this morning with the Tennessean and get your breakdown and analysis of it, because it's all about Freddie O'Connell's first 2 years in office.
Should be a short discussion.
Well, I mean, if you were thinking about positive aspects of his first 2 years in office, I think so. The title of the article, "With 2 years down, What Lies Ahead for the Rest of Mayor Freddie O'Connell's Term." And the article's written by some fellow by the name of Austin Hornbostel, which is quite the name.
Yeah.
Austin Hornbostel writes, "When Nashville Mayor Freddie O'Connell hit the halfway mark in his first term in late September, his office lauded a laundry list of wins." Laundry list. It included plenty that have already been top of mind since O'Connell's November 2023 election victory. And so out of the jump, and I don't want to get too caught up in this, how's that 2 years then?
Yeah.
So
if it was top of mind when he got elected, that means it was an issue before he got elected.
Well, and you're telling me that he's been in office for 2 years when they hit the halfway mark in late September, but if he was elected in November of 2023, then how is September the halfway mark?
Not.
It doesn't make any sense. Anyway.
I don't think it was November. Don't they have, the runoffs are usually in September, so I don't know where they got November from.
I don't know. Dedicated transportation funding, courtesy of his popular Choose How You Move initiative, development agreements among the city's East Bank, and improved year-over-year crime numbers were all on the list of achievements. Let's take these one by one. Do you think crime has improved?
Hell no.
So how do they claim crime? I mean, I guess the statistics are getting better?
Yeah, well, yeah. If you want to, what is it that Mark Twain said? There are 3 types of lies: damn lies, and statistics.
Right.
So, I mean,
they're cooking the numbers.
Yeah. Well, if you don't report stuff to the federal government, or the other thing that I've read, and I'd have to go dig this up, but it's a psychological effect, a societal effect. If people do not think that the police are going to respond to something, they will not call 911. I've talked to many people that get put on hold when they call 911 in Nashville. Like they have an after-hours service.
911, can you hold? I mean, that's never a good. Does that ever happen on the show, Jackson? On that 911 show, does it ever happen?
It does not.
They put folks on hold?
They actually, across all 3 shows, they have one 911 operator.
Yeah, what's that little cutie that's on the original? What's her name? Jennifer Love Hewitt? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She's the 911 operator for Los Angeles.
Uh-huh.
Then there was a Texas one. I don't remember her name. Grace, I think. And then I don't remember what the new one for Nashville
there's
is.
a room full of them. I've seen the show enough when I'm walking through the living room.
Yes, but only one's answering all the calls. I don't know what the others are doing.
And she's getting all weepy all the time about the 911 calls. That's Jennifer Love Hewitt, right? Anyway, enough of that. So what your suggestion is that crime is not getting better in Nashville?
No, it's not. I mean, it got better after the ICE raids. I live in the southeast in Antioch area, and I noticed a perceptible improvement in speeding, red light running, and stop sign running.
Oh, isn't that nice? So you're telling me that having actual police on the streets that are willing to pull people over for traffic violations had an impact on people committing traffic violations?
Yeah.
Huh.
And the repeat offenders are no longer repeating.
Well, I spoke with Mayor Freddie O'Connell. I talked a little bit about our quote-unquote beer summit after we had it over in Germantown.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about crime, and we talked about his reaction to what went down in Antioch.
Yeah.
And his response that it made the streets less safe. And I said, how can you say that? And he goes, well, our immigrant community, our refugee, they're not calling them refugees. They're calling illegal aliens refugees because they think that plays better. He said, our refugee community is afraid to they're afraid of the cops now. And I said, well, one, if they're illegal aliens, they've probably always been afraid of the police because they're illegal aliens. Number two, I could walk through a scenario where they are, in fact, safer, and it's not that hard to figure out because if you get the criminals that are preying on them in Antioch off the streets because these criminals know that they're not going to call the cops because they are illegal, then there's less crime being committed against them. And Freddie said he didn't believe that was happening.
It's such a crazy argument, and it's really driven by the leftist equality, equity argument, the critical race theories. It's just because people are of a different skin color does not mean that they don't need police protection in their communities.
100%.
These people are preying on children, getting them into drugs and gangs and tagging early on. I mean, it starts with tagging, then it elevates to doing a drop. Will you steal this car? Like, get these people out of these communities. These moms and these dads want their kids to come home safe at the end of the day. I mean, I grew up in an urban area in Florida, and I've heard people tell their stories of being afraid to walk down a street at certain times of the day. You get home as fast as you possibly can because you don't want the guys standing on the street corner to approach you.
Well, it's been that way. Let me tell you, it's been that way in Memphis for a long time.
Yeah.
Where you can go to the populated, quote unquote, touristy areas, and they are more, centralized and focused in Memphis, Beale Street and the like.
Mm-hmm.
But even 15 years ago, you knew not to go on any of the ancillary properties because there was danger there.
Yeah.
It's getting that way in downtown Nashville.
Yeah. Don't go one block over.
Yeah, it's a larger plot of land, but the premise is the same.
Yeah.
The criminals are preying on these folks.
I mean, but it's like, where was this city? The cops are afraid to go into some neighborhoods. I'm not talking about Nashville, but it's like there are major cities in this country where the police are afraid to go.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of them was Dearborn, Michigan.
Yeah.
Although now the sheriff of Dearborn, Michigan is a Muslim guy, and I mean, but it's like, what do you do?
Had for a while. They had the no-go zones or whatever they called them.
But like That's not what we hire
No.
police for. Like,
It's not
we hire
protecting and
police
serving.
to go into the bad neighborhoods.
All right, hold your thought for just a moment. Jason Wickley is with us. We'll be back right after this. It's 23 after the hour, breaking down Freddie O'Connell's first 2 years in office. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy for U.S. Pest. You know, I mentioned a lot of people think that they can cancel or suspend their pest control service because cooler conditions are here. And I think those folks are, of the opinion, well, if I don't have fleas and ticks in the yard, they can't come in the house. Folks, these critters that are outside are coming inside. They want your warmth. They want the heat. They want the food. They want the things that you have in your house. That's why I say all of these little bugs and pests, they're communists, all of them. And you need to protect yourself from the communists with U.S. Pest. Full-service pest control, termite protection, and crawl-space service available at U.S. Pest. Common Tennessee pests include termites, brown recluse spiders, ticks, fire ants, roaches, stink bugs, ladybugs, and much, much more. And you are at risk if you don't protect yourself with U.S. Pest. Call today and get a free inspection. It will charge you nothing, and they're not going to hard sell you on this thing. They're just going to tell you the reality of what pest control is, what it can do for you, and how much it's going to cost you on a monthly basis. And it's less expensive than you think. Go to uspest.com. That's uspest.com, or call 590-1260, 590-1260. All right, I might lock the doors and convince Jason to stick around for a couple of additional moments after the news, because we've got to break this down. We were attempting to break down the accomplishments, and if anybody knows, call me at 615-737-9986. We're trying to do I don't feel like we've achieved laundry list level yet.
No, I mean, legislatively, he has passed 2 tax increases, and they only referenced one of them. They didn't call it a tax increase.
So when I'm just reading from the Tennessean article, right? When Nashville Mayor Freddie O'Connell hit the halfway mark of his first term in late September, his office lauded a laundry list of wins. Dedicated transportation funding. Okay, so that's tax increase.
Tax increase.
Okay, well, I guess, if you like tax increases, that was a big victory. He snowed over the voters to the point that they voted for it. Development agreements among the city's East Bank. Okay, so those are all related to the new stadium, which
was also very much a state deal as well.
Well, yeah, the state tossed in $500 million of that, and okay. And then crime statistics. So those are the 3 things they listed. Improved year-over-year crime numbers, which anybody that's walking the streets of Nashville knows that that's a load of garbage. So but other than that, they just moved right along and said, but what lies ahead in the second half of the mayor's 4-year term, Jason? If you ask O'Connell, that's a question with more than one answer. He shared several of them with the Tennessean. He said some might be a little abstract, like honing in on and enhancing Nashvillians' sense of belonging. Jason, are you a Nashvillian?
Yes.
Do you have a sense of belonging?
I do. Yes.
Oh,
I don't need any more.
Oh, that's nice. That's good. That's a key value for residents in last year's Imagine Nashville 10-year vision plan. I bet that's a healthy read.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and it's probably padded with all the paid volunteers of all these 501c3 groups like Turk and the Nashville Justice League and others.
Well, this is why I call him Feckless Freddy. That he hasn't, the only thing he's been able to make a decision on are taxes. And he is pro-tax. And he wants more tax dollars, despite the fact that Nashvillians can't afford it.
Yeah.
He can't make a decision on crime-solving apparatus like FUSIS or LPRs.
Right.
And as you mentioned off air, LPRs have been on the table for long,
I think 8 or 9 years. I was talking to Courtney Johnson about this, and it precedes, it's either her very first year in her first term or like just before that. I can't remember the date that she gave me.
And the council has already approved license plate readers.
Yeah, like the legislation exists. All he has to do is pick a vendor
to do the LPRs.
To do the work.
And it's been 2 years.
Yeah, or more.
And he hasn't been able to pick a vendor.
Of his term, yeah. He hasn't done anything.
And I asked him this question during our little beer summit, and his answer was, well, I can't get the votes now.
Yeah. Do you remember when the liberal left lost their mind years ago and we needed to have body cams on every police officer? And then we started to do that nationwide. And then they quietly started to say, we don't want that anymore. Because they started seeing video footage of people breaking the law and doing things that justified police shootings. And they didn't like that.
It wasn't even close. With far more regularity, you discover that body cam footage exonerates the police officer, and it's not even close.
Because these people are trained.
And law-abiding citizens, if there is a one-off of an officer doing something they're not supposed to do, we want to catch those guys and get them off the force.
Right.
Because we believe in law enforcement done the right way.
Yes.
All right. I'm locking the doors. You're sticking around, right?
Okay.
All right. Jason Weekly is with us. It is just past 6:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for Alpha and Omega. You know, Michael is not new to the computer services industry. He's been around, as a matter of fact, since 1998. Michael and his team at Alpha and Omega have been doing it the right way since then. They've been serving Middle Tennessee small, medium, and large-sized businesses. Here's the bottom line is, if you're in business, making widgets or serving the public in some way, and you need computers in your business, I mean, everyone does, the last thing you want to do is waste your time in your business dealing with computers when Alpha and Omega can handle all of that for you. They handle IT better than anyone in the business today. They have business continuity, 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week protection from evolving threats, compliance for all industry, and a fast local help desk, meaning when you call Alpha and Omega, you talk to someone right here, not just in the United States of America, but right here in Middle Tennessee. And that is what it's all about, friends. Michael and his team want to talk with you. If your IT contract is up in your small business, you need to contact him. Let him speak to you about what they can do for you. Don't settle for the same old, same old. Alpha and Omega delivers fewer problems, faster response, and service that works. Call now for a free quote, 615-784-0096, 784-0096, or online at ANO.net. That's ANO for Alpha and Omega, A&O.net. I feel a little bit guilty for doing this, but I have to ask Jason Weekly, our guest, a question that was consistent with the conversation we were having right before we came back from break. Can he do this without a vote of the people?
He's doing it, yes.
All right, tell everybody what you're talking about over in the nation.
So what we're seeing in the nations is a continuation of last year's NEST bill, the Nashville Essential Structures for Togetherness Plan.
Mm-hmm.
To essentially, there's 8 or 9 bills, but the crux of it is to eliminate single-family zoning from Nashville completely, so that when you sell your house or somebody, big developer, just offers to buy the whole block,
it doesn't have to be rezoned to do high density.
No, nope. They're now pushing this through. They were going to pass a series of bills last year through the council. That failed because of the Belmont. Hundreds of people showed up to Belmont and protested that.
Right.
Quinn Evans Segal, got her plan stomped on. Now their plan is to go council district by council district, and Roland Horton is the canary in the coal mine, the test case for whether they can succeed in doing this. He's rezoning 2,000 acres of the nations to get rid of single-family zoning, and there's a recall effort out there, voicesofdistrict20.com if you want to check it out. But They're trying to recall him because he's absolutely not listening to his district.
Is this their answer to the quote-unquote affordable housing crisis in Nashville?
Yeah. We're just going to tear down your house and
put some high density up.
Yeah.
You know,
if you live in the Nations and you want a 46-foot tall apartment complex to be across the street from you,
from your single family home,
yeah,
that's about to happen.
That will happen if Roland Horton gets his way. If Roland Horton and his posse of city council members who are all for this plan, Quinn Evans Segal, a whole bunch of others. I hear Council District 3 is after that. Jennifer, I forget her name, but
well, and I'm looking at some of the response to some of the property taxes that are already the bills that are already coming in.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, think about it this way: if your property taxes have gone up exorbitantly, because the one before this was 34% increase, and it keeps happening every 2 to 4 years, what are you going to do? You're going to sell your house. And then someone's going to buy it, and we're going to build an apartment complex. It is a snowball going down the wrong side of the hill. And to me, it's intentional. I mean, look at the pattern over the years. It hasn't changed. It just keeps shifting ever so slightly because they react to the negative blowback, like the Belmont protest last year. I call it a protest. It was a classroom that seated 75 and 300 people showed up.
So they're figuring out loopholes around forcing these counselors to get on the record and voting for this. Because the city council knows the reaction that people in their districts will have if they're on the record voting in favor of this.
Jenny Welch in 16 tried this, and the planning commission even said, well, we don't know if we can approve these plans because you haven't had any community meetings, you haven't done a study, you haven't done all this stuff. And so that it did get shut down, but now they're trying a different tactic a wiggle around where the city council member just approves the projects because that's what they can do in their district. It's called something like council member discretion or something like that, where deference, where they don't interfere with a project in another council member's district, because if you do that, then I'm going to interfere with yours.
Sure. So let's get back to some of the positives for Freddie, according to Freddie. So these are positive things that Freddie is going to do, according to Freddie O'Connell. He wants to see Nashville's area median income tick up as a result of the city's economic development and affordable housing efforts.
Taxes.
For example, leading to positive effect on job growth and rental cost. How are increased property taxes for property owners going to lead to lower rent prices?
They don't.
Well, wait a minute. Freddie just said they do.
But they don't.
But they don't? Are you telling me...
Neverland, it works.
Are you telling me that if I'm a property owner and my property taxes, let's say I own several larger pieces of rental properties with multi units on each property, let's say that you're telling me if my property taxes go up $100,000 this year, I'm not just going to absorb those costs, Jason?
No. You know what this leads to? It leads to a fight over rent control. When you have more renters that outnumber homeowners as a voting block, you can pass rent control laws.
And those work so well.
Well.
I mean, New York has had rent control for how many years? And look how well it controls those rental prices.
How many people have moved from New York to Tennessee to escape the...
And
Do you remember this movie, Escape from New York?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen those. I mean, you get a 1 or 2 bedroom. I mean, minuscule, 700 square foot apartment with many teeny tiny bedrooms for $3,000 a month. Freddie also wants to. He's looking for relief from the pressure of grocery taxes. So that's just you're going to blame the state for that.
Yeah, he can't control that directly.
Getting a deal with the Tennessee Performing Arts Center over the finish line.
Okay.
Great.
That keeps going back and forth. Good luck.
This is a part of the East Bank. The East Bank is going to work itself out because the private sector is going to make sure the East Bank works itself out because the private sector wants to be a part of that stadium deal.
Right.
That occurred prior to Freddie taking office. So on the issue of affordability, O'Connell pointed out to the recently announced United Housing Leadership Council as key to charting a course to fill Nashville's 90,000 unit housing gap over the next 10 years.
Yeah, and that is not a Davidson County number. That is a regional number.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you talk about the greater Nashville area, you're talking about a multi-county area. So he's using a study that doesn't impact just Davidson to advocate for Davidson policy changes.
This is my favorite quote in the article. I won't bore everyone with the full article, or you, Jason, but this is my favorite quote from the article. This goal might be the simplest. Hearing from Nashvillians that they got what they were asking for when they elected O'Connell 2 years ago. Quote, I think if within 2 years from now, people can see, oh, yeah, this is what I voted for, and I'm really glad I did. And we've gotten, say, dozens or even maybe hundreds of our intersections upgraded, and people can say, oh, wow, this is really shaving minutes of travel time off my day. I think that's a really good outcome.
Wow.
I mean,
okay. So smart traffic lights took you 4 years and 2 tax increases, but that's so
and
far.
Millions and millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah.
But if after 4 years, you and I can say, Jason, man.
Yeah. My commute home is 3 minutes less than it was before. Thank you, Freddie O'Connell.
Thank you, Freddie O'Connell. I mean, crime's gone up.
Uh-huh.
And we don't have any ability to catch these criminals who are in the city because we don't have LPRs or fuses.
Yeah.
And you know, but tourism's down. Well, you know, maybe that's a good way of knocking down travel time too.
There's fewer tourists.
The crime goes up, the tourism goes down, and we get home in
I can get to downtown in 20 minutes instead of 30 with one there.
Just tell the Metro Nashville Police Department to, stay at home, for goodness sake.
Yeah. Well, if there's fewer people downtown, maybe they have more police to police the rest of the city. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense.
Do you think that there will be, in a couple of minutes that we have left, do you think that Freddie O'Connell will see opposition that could potentially beat him? I mean, he's clearly running for re-election. He's going to do that. We kind of know that.
Yeah, I certainly hope so. I think he has angered both sides. I haven't heard any rumblings yet, but...
Well, because he's feckless. I mean, I'm not trying to be mean. It's the Mr. Miyagi principle. Have you ever seen the Karate Kid?
Yeah.
That you karate no, okay. You karate yes, okay. You karate so squish just like grape. He can't decide. He's trying to please everyone, so he pleases no one.
Right. It's a terrible political strategy. You need to commit to something. And I personally don't see him as a leader with his own ideas. I see him as someone who is being told what to do, led around by the nose. I don't know if it's the Nashville Justice League or these half a dozen or so socialists on city council that are pulling the strings. I mean, I just don't look at him as someone who is decisive.
Do you believe that when we have the next election cycle, that there will be only 20 city council seats up for re-election?
Yeah.
That's
pretty
just
sure
going to happen.
I'm pretty sure that'll happen.
I think it's in front of the Tennessee Supreme Court at
it
this
is,
point.
and I'm pretty sure they have the same options that the U.S. Supreme Court does, which means they could just decide not to hear it at all, which means the appellate court's ruling stands.
Which was in favor of the
right, which would make them do it. Or they take the case up and argue it here, but I would imagine that the city would still lose there.
Well, part of the crucial to the city's argument is this suggestion that it's punitive in its nature.
But it's not.
And the
it doesn't
General Assembly
just
says,
apply
no,
to
it
this
applies
county.
It applies to everyone.
Yeah.
We don't.
I think there were 3 counties that this applies to. One was I think Memphis, and then a city in East Tennessee, I believe. I forget which one.
It's capping the number of city councilors at 20. That's it.
Yeah. And here's the other thing people forget.
Does representation get better or worse? See, on first glance, I would have said, well, it has to get better.
I think it gets better because what we have now is a super majority of liberals. If we have less people, then it becomes easier to break up that monopoly.
And at least elect I mean, I hate to use it but moderates.
Moderates, yeah.
I mean, you can find a couple of conservative districts in there.
Yeah, I mean, we have a few moderate Democrats right now, but I'd be happy if they were duplicated.
Could in your estimation, Nashville, of a conservative vantage point, you probably are as knowledgeable as anyone in Nashville about Nashville politics that I know.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think, and I'm about to name one of the others, do you think Courtney Johnston could win running for mayor?
I certainly hope so. But here's the question for anyone running for a conservative, from a conservative angle in Nashville. We have to have voter turnout. Now, on paper, the math is there, but it's these August elections where voter turnout is much lower. It's less than half of the turnout, in some cases much, much less than half, if it's not a November election. So we have to get out. I mean, if you are angry about your property taxes going up, I need you to get this thing out. It's called a phone.
Right now.
Go to your calendar, skip ahead to July of 2027, and make a reminder for the last 2 weeks to go vote. Just do it.
Or just go on over to gopnashville.org.
Yeah, .org.
gopnashville.org and give Jason a donation.
Yeah, donate to the party. Join our email newsletter. We'll let you know when things are happening. But, I mean, your civic duty as an American in a republic where people represent you in government is to vote in every single election. Please do it.
Jason, thank you for your acumen on these issues. Thank you for your passion. And I share it. I mean, I don't live in Davidson County, but I work in Davidson County. I believe in Davidson County, and I believe that the conservatives, if they get the word out, I think you're adding to your numbers on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And I think rightly so, because we're seeing how absolutely insane the liberals have become. And I think that's to our benefit in Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah.
And by the way, do you share did you see 911 Nashville? Have you seen
I
it?
haven't, no.
Would you, next time you're on, will you give us a full-throated review?
I will do my best.
Because I hear it's garbage, despite what Jackson might.
You need an odd vote to balance this out
just
here?
to try to figure out who's right and who's wrong. It's 53 after the hour, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy. Genesis Diamonds has the most amazing selection of hand-picked diamonds at unbelievable prices that I've ever seen. I've been around the block a time or two. Just ask Jackson. But did you know that they also have the best selection of pristine, hand-picked, luxury, pre-owned Rolex watches that I've ever seen? In fact, they're having an incredible two-day Rolex event coming up October 24th and 25th, and it's so big that I want to tell you about it right now. It's happening. An incredible display of Rolex watches at incredible prices. So here's the thing. If your guy has always talked about a Rolex watch, a Submariner, a Daytona, a Batman, a Pepsi, whatever it might be, including some never-worn fresher models that people wait years for, during this event, you can take advantage of the incredible pricing and up to 60 months zero-interest financing. So if your guy's been talking about this for a while, you can get in front of the holidays, get him the home run Rolex that he has always wanted, and zero interest 60-month financing on approved credit. Now, if you're already a Rolex owner, bring your old Rolex to trade in. Genesis buyers will be on site to offer top dollar for your Rolex. Listen to this. With the purchase of any luxury pre-owned Rolex at this event, they're going to give you a pair of 4-carat lab-grown diamond stud earrings, the highest quality, absolutely free. October 24th and 25th, the largest selection of luxury pre-owned Rolex watches in the state. Green Hills, Cool Springs. See store for details while supplies last. GenesisDiamonds.com.
Selling your home can be stressful, but it doesn't have to be. Get a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. There are no showings, no open houses, no stress. Work with the #1 real estate team in the U.S. and close with confidence. Go to markspain.com today.
Thank you for a wonderful Columbus Day. Coming up tomorrow, Congressman Tim Burchett, amongst others. I thank you all for watching on Super Talk TV, for listening on the radio and other platforms. We're back tomorrow. Until then, have a great evening, folks. Hug your loved ones. So long.